was much easier to administer, which made widespread. I mean, they gave it in school. They lined the children up in school and gave you your sugar cube, or sometimes they put it on a syrup called Sabin syrup. So, I think this is one of the great contributions to humanity and the eradication of diseases. My parents were so, I just say primitive or old school, old fashioned. As I recall, my dad wore a little sack of garlic around his neck when he was a kid to keep the polio away. And people were afraid of going to public pools and stuff. By the way, it was Sabin who discovered that it enters the system through the digestive system. So I thought those are some interesting facts about the polio vaccine at
So
the
a lot
time.
of people kind of gasp when I ask the question. The reason why I ask the question is based off of um, the person that RFK is working with, RFK Jr. is working with. I thought it said that they wanted to like get rid of it. So that's the reason why I asked the question.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I something I heard maybe people can confirm. He wants to outlaw vapes like on day one. I'm not against that. And like I would say
What
three.
was that? They wanted
He
to
wants
what?
to out. I just heard this. I can't confirm it. Vapes,
Yeah. Okay.
VAPES.
Okay. So let's clear polio first, and
Okay,
then
sorry.
then yeah, then firstly you can move on to the vapes, but let's clear the polio first.
So, polio's been eradicated, so it might not even be necessary to continue to vaccinate people. That's
Well,
another
there's
thought.
polio in wastewater again.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
crazy. I think that there is also, then that's another thing that Norm just surfaced. Because people think that somehow we're in the clear, like this shit doesn't come back. Like it's funny. And
What?
then they base their like votes on that assumption.
So when you say it's eradicated, are you saying that it's eradicated in other countries as well, or are you just saying in the United States?
Well,
Definitely in the West, right? But yeah, they don't take into consideration like that we're a global community and that people are traveling the world all the time. And
You there?
Exactly. I was mentioning that I know people who have polio. Like it's definitely not eradicated globally.
Eradication just means there's no case. There hasn't been any cases for a certain amount of time. Doesn't mean that doesn't the virus doesn't exist.
yeah, it hasn't been eradicated worldwide, but for the most part in the US. Yeah, but
I'm seeing
poliomyelitis is on the comeback.
I'm seeing as of August 2024, there were only two cases, I believe, or two locations, Afghanistan and Pakistan, for what they call wild polio virus, which I guess is, a public transmission. The last reported case was of type 2 polio was in 1999 and type 3 2012. That's what I'm just getting from AI.
So you saying people don't get polio vaccines anymore here in the states?
I'm
No,
not saying that. I don't know.
people
I'm too
still get
old.
vaccinated for polio. And I mean, and it wasn't until about 25 30 35 years ago that the WHO declared us, our country, um free of polio, right? I mean, it hasn't been that long that we were declared free of polio. So that polio could recur, resurge. It's not that far fetched.
especially if you get rid of the vaccine.
And particularly because we move so much about the world.
Does anybody have a kid? Does anybody know if kids are still being vaccinated? I don't think they give it in schools anymore. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, the polio vaccine is still required in, I think it's almost every state now. I think it's still every state. Polio is required for vaccination for schools and daycare. Now, I believe people can get exempted, but I'm not sure. But it is a required vaccine.
These people are going to start the most stupid fights and focus on the most stupid things. It's going to only be to their detriment.
Blame the education system.
So I have a question. I know I'm outside walking, and so here's my question. Do you mean to tell me that there are people who think kids aren't getting the polio vaccine anymore because the World Health Organization has declared the US free of polio, and therefore the polio vaccination is no longer needed for children? That's something that folks actually believe.
I don't know.
I don't know. I hope not.
I think the risk is that if people become political about vaccines and start resisting them, then our country and other countries run the risk of more epidemics of these diseases against which that we've largely eradicated. Other things are like, measles, whooping cough. I forget. There's like a trio that you get as a kid: measles, whooping cough. I don't
Rubella.
know, rubella, which I guess is what, German measles.
It's
Um,
MMR, the measles, mumps, and rubella.
oh yeah, mumps. Some of these things can be dangerous for grown-ups, more dangerous even than for kids.
So I had mumps as a kid in Nigeria. Oh my gosh, it was painful.
My
Um,
brother had mumps. It was horrible.
oh yeah, it was just I'm just thinking about the physical um, discomfort that I experienced for such a long time. I don't even want to revisit it. It's just making me feel icky. But yeah, I got all my shots. I think most of them. Maybe I didn't get mumps vaccination, but I know I got the measles one. And I think I got rubella as well. I just recall that when I was young and I got mumps, my parents and I looked at my vaccinations to figure out if I had been vaccinated against mumps. I don't know that there was a required vaccination for mumps at the time. I don't know, but I was the only one who got it. My sisters didn't get mumps, but I did. And it was gross. Ugh. I don't even remember what the treatment was.
And
I
your
don't know if
neck gets
say that
painful. You get those. I think I had it too. Is that when you get those painful things on your neck, on your glands? They get all big and swollen and painful. I think
yeah,
I
and
had
it's
that
not
too.
yeah, it's not just your neck. But it's like it extends toward like your ears too. Like there's stuff going on in the ears or like inside, not outside of your ear, but the because all those glands are connected. So neck stuff, yes, but then also stuff close to the ear, the inner ear. It was so uncomfortable. It's like I was miserable for so long. Yeah. Oh my God. But yeah, I just don't. I understand why some people are hesitant to um, have their children get vaccinated against some stuff. But this aversion to science really concerns me because I just do what you want to
Think
do
they
as
should
an
stay at home?
adult.
Do you think they should, homeschool their kids if that's their choice?
So I'm not. I haven't thought enough about that question to say yes or no. But I'll just say this: most people I've met who claim to homeschool their kids are just too stupid to do a wonderful job. So as far as I'm concerned, you want to homeschool your kids, fine. Um, But don't turn around and tell me that your kids are the most brilliant, because the chances of that being true are slim to none. So all these homeschooling people, they don't. Most most homeschooled kids, most homeschoolers that I've met, they ain't got it. Okay, so
I think if RFK tries to prevent public vaccination, there should be demonstrations in the streets because I think it's a massive danger to public health. That's my personal layperson's political opinion.
So have the
El
unvax.
Normo and I agree for the first time.
But wait,
Which
y'all would
no,
prefer having the vax and the
Revelations is
unvax
coming.
duke it out in the streets where they can
I mean,
spread
I'm
it?
sorry. Like we cannot become a country that isn't vaccinating its kids against these diseases that we know are far too often fatal. That's just what era are we trying to go back to? This is 2024. So, no.
The great era when America was great. I guess that was when we were when
1924.
we had vaccine when we didn't have vaccines. I guess that's where we want to go back to because that was great.
Precisely.
Hey, Moses.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Hi.
See, that's the thing. These people.
I hope you guys are outside getting your vitamin D, getting fresh air. You need to be walking, y'all, because we need to get ready. All these kids are not going to be vaccinated. Adults are going to be getting sick too. You need to get your immune system up. You know, you gotta strengthen that thing. Take your zinc, take your vitamin C tablets. I like the gummies. All of my vitamins, I do gummies because they make me excited to take them. The tablets and the caps and the capsules I can't do, but the gummies are great. So that's my PSA for the day.
Anything else,
I'm
Dr.
on the
Sebi?
gummy I'm on the gummy bandwagon too. I can't do the tablet, like I can't. So I do the gummies too. They're the best. And I somehow feel like they're more concentrated and I'm getting more of the medicine.
Yeah, my mom was trying to give me shit for taking gummies. I was like, okay, what's the alternative? The alternative is me not taking my vitamins. So you can't tell
Actually,
me that that's better. Go ahead, Dark.
no, I was going to say that actually kind of makes me want to look up the if there is any difference in efficacy between gummy delivery versus pill delivery. I'd never looked that up before, or if there
Yeah, and I
there
could
may
Please
not
don't
be.
see
tell me when you find out because I don't care. I'm
I
still
could
gonna do my
see
gummies.
I can see that I could totally be making that up, however. So, but you can check. I just, I could be making it up because I just feel that, you know.
Do you guys think of crushing the vitamins before you consume them, like the vitamin pill? I've seen some influencers do that. Is there any scientific benefit to that at all?
Well, what you want to do is the pills might not be efficacious, and so you usually want to try and get ones that are third party tested.
I thought the crushing had to do with
Okay,
making it easy for
can
people to
I
swallow.
make a can I hate to interrupt, but I've just been monitoring the chat and now I think lunatic libertarian has hit a low bar. And I would like to invite her to the hallway if at all possible before she gets even more toxic.
Oh no, lunatic is was telling us that that he's a wizard, and I had corrected him to suggest that he's a grand wizard, and I see that we're seeing that now.
Yeah, they made a comment earlier in the chat about us eating ramen and drinking purple drink or something like that. And I thought that was slightly the beginning of an undertone that I was detecting. But yeah, here we are. So I'm just making that notation for you all.
Okay, wait. Where is the person? I thought I. Mm, They must have left. I thought I deleted. All right.
Well, I'm trying to get outside in the sun, like Hurricane said. So I've been um dressing mode right now, so I'm not looking at the chat, but thank you.
All right. So, at least in terms of, I've seen a study now suggesting that gummies and pills are equally bioavailable, or make the vitamins equally bioavailable, it seems. So, Gad, you're good all the time.
And all the time.
All the time.
God is good.
Yes, I love.
I need to get, you know what? I was feeling bad about the gummies, but I prefer gummies. But um I mean, I did notice that I got more pills, like, per price. And then, like, because of travel, the pills were like better, but I actually do prefer the gummies. What am I going to do?
Doctor Dr. Goddess, you should just do the look for the sales. Buy one, get one free, and just stock up. That's what I do.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, look for the sales, and then when you find them, just buy a couple, and put them in a cabinet and do your thing. Take those gummies every morning. They're like candy.
They,
For
they,
somebody like me who has a sweet tooth, they're just
I
wonderful.
was gonna
Like you're
say.
Do you
drinking your
pop them like
water.
candy?
Say that again.
Do you pop them like candy?
No, no, no. I just,
Oh,
I just
okay.
put, I just put them all in my mouth at the same time and just enjoy all that sweetness.
That's hilarious. I
That's
did.
It's
sad.
so
Your
fun.
vitamins are your
It's okay.
candy. That's so funny.
But yeah, because I love sweets and y'all. So I just started a new diet because I created a problem for myself. It is not something that most people would consider a problem, but since we're just chatting about stuff, I decided about a year ago that my pectoral muscles were not thick enough, and I wanted them to be thicker because I just wanted bigger man titties. I just wanted them. So I started
Girl, you
focusing.
are such an extra gay. I just
Let me
want you to
tell
know
you,
that.
Let him
I
finish the
know.
story. Come on.
And Aaron has seen me before. So before Aaron saw me before my pectoral transformation, and trust me, my chest was
They were,
always thickening.
largely
Okay.
charged before. I'll say that. Yeah.
Exactly. But I wanted
Pectoral.
bigger ones. So I started working, doing more exercises for my chest. And because I balanced my workouts, I also did more exercises for my back. Well, my upper body just exploded. It got bigger, and I had no idea. I just didn't, I had no idea. I wore sport coats when I had to attend teleconferences with judges, and I wore a sport coat once or twice when I had to go to court in the afternoon for something short. And then a few weeks ago, I had to go to a hearing before a judge I'd never met before. The hearing was going to be on the longer side. So I was like, let me wear a suit. So I pull out my suit the day before, and the jacket doesn't fit. I pull out another suit. The jacket doesn't fit. Why? Because it's just too tight in the chest area, super tight, and the arms are a little tight too. So now I'm on this diet to lose some weight. I'm hoping that I drop some muscle because I'm too muscular now. Humble brag. And so I can't eat processed carbohydrates at all because if I eat candy, it's not going to help me achieve my goal. That's another reason the gummies are great for me right now.
You got a
Mhm.
fupa?
Does
No, oh no, no, oh no, my stomach is lovely. It's the chest. My chest and my back muscles are literally have become too big to manage. So I want them to get smaller. I want to shrink them now. They've gotten too big. So
Gad,
Okay, shape.
Gad,
the shape is together, trust me. The shape is
Oh, is
together. You
it?
hear me? Oh, it is. It is. It
Gad.
is.
Um,
Wait.
Yes,
is
What's
it
Dr.
your weight?
God.
What's your waist, Otis?
33 inches and I'm 6'2". Mhm.
Oh.
and I turn 50 next year. Trust me, most people can't take.
Oh,
um,
this girl, if I had the time today, I would entertain this, but I'm busy. Hope you're here in a second.
Whatever, okay. Listen, don't come for me, Jess. Don't come for me. I'm in my gad bag right now. Okay, I'm trying to be good. Okay.
Is this desire to lose muscle so that you could fit into your jackets and suits that are beautiful? Is this also a slice of Nigerian? What's the word? Because it's not cheapness; it's frugality.
Maybe, but it's like I have all these suits that are really good suits, and I do not want to have to replace my entire suit collection. I just don't want to do it. It's gonna
Mm-hmm. I
cost too
got
much.
that.
It's gonna cost too much money, and then what happens when I end up getting smaller in a year because I decided to change my workouts, and all of a sudden the other suits that I buy don't fit. These suits are really good. I'm not about to waste these.
Mm-hmm. I thought so.
Mm-mm.
Thank you for the clarification.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
trust, yes, I've always been frugal, okay? I'm gonna live my life like an immigrant every day. I don't care
Oh,
what the
I
paper
no,
looks like.
I am your
We gonna stay,
um
keeping this budget together.
Gad.
Because we don't do that.
Gad. Although I'm not an immigrant, I am your frugal soul sister. Okay.
That's
court
actually one
adjourned.
of the
See,
go
my
for it.
dad was on the frugal side of things, but he always would treat himself. But I hated his frugalness in certain ways, especially when it came down to cars. Now, before I came along, my father had like a Lincoln and stuff like that. Then when I come along, he wanted to get what was that stupid tail car? A Claim? Y'all remember that car? It was something I'm like, you can't pick me up in this. Sir, this is not right. This is embarrassing. Like, if you're going to be frugal, you got to at least have a nice car. No? Y'all disagree?
I don't have a car. Because I'm in Washington, D.C. I don't need one, and I hate driving, so I don't have a car. But if I did have a car, it would probably be a hybrid or an electric car, because yeah, I don't have to have the fanciest car, and I care about the environment. So, and I also don't want a car that's too flashy because I don't want people looking at me like that. So,
Now, that's one thing I'm gonna have. It's me a nice car.
Well, just
Hello,
I'm
that.
somebody.
driving a Volkswagen all
Y'all,
day.
the
I don't
next two
know,
weeks is all you got to buy a nice car because they're gonna go up in prices like crazy in the new year.
but I will be downsizing.
TVs too.
Um, but everybody has their thing that they, you know, spend a little extra on.
that's true, Jess. Definitely. Everybody does have that thing. So Bello just said a Nigerian who doesn't like a Lexus or a Mercedes. That's right. My parents are very humble people, and that rubbed off on me, but it didn't rub off on all my siblings because my sister, when she turned 50, she went out and she got the most expensive. What is it? Which one is more expensive, the Range Rover, or the Land Rover? It's the Land, right?
Range,
Or is it?
no
That's
range.
the range.
Okay.
It's the
Range,
Oh,
Range
range.
yeah.
Rover.
Okay. Yeah. So she bought one of the most she got the most expensive Range Rover that she could find, and then she called me and spent the first 5 minutes of the conversation apologizing for why she spent that much money on the car. And I was just like, girl, if you want it, it's your 50th birthday. Enjoy it. You don't have to explain to me why you decided to spend that much money on a car. I wouldn't
I
do it, but you and I are different. I was just like, please enjoy your car. Now, if
luxury
my now
car
now, but
are
listen, let me finish. So, if my sister and I went to the grocery store, though, and she saw what I was putting in my grocery cart, she would have all kinds of things to say. Because she'd be like, why you gotta get lamb? Why you gotta have sea bass? Why you gotta have halibut? Why can't you just have regular fish? So, I was just saying that to agree with you, Jess, that everybody has, their thing that they are willing to spend money on. And for me, it's quality, quality food ingredients because I like to eat well and I take eating very seriously. So for me, that's where I'll splurge is on food. Like I don't, I mean, like I
The
have a
opera.
budget for what I spend. Oh, and the opera. Yeah, I'll fly half across the world for a week and just go to opera and eat my way through a city, which is what I do. It's like I eat, I go to restaurants, and I listen to music, and I'll just do that for a week straight.
Same. I splurge on live entertainment and restaurants, travel. But I've never had a problem pulling a date in my Volkswagen. Yes, God. And I
Well, I
don't
mean,
get
it's
too
nothing
car
wrong
washes.
with that. A Volkswagen can be a nice car. I mean, nice a nice car can be a Honda Accord. Like when I say a nice car, it doesn't necessarily have to be. Uh, I like cars for like performance reasons, so
Me
that's why
too.
I would get like it's not really about like the status. I like what they can do, like the speed and shit like that, like for actual purposes. So that's why I'm gonna get. But I mean, my
I
cousin
agree
just
with
got
you.
a yeah, my cousin just got a Honda Accord, a 2020. It might be in used. That shit is nice. I was like, yo, this motherfucker is it's like it's nice as fuck. I would get it. It's not fast enough for me though. Um,
I
and
agree
I
with
was
you,
I,
Justin. I get annoyed when I see people driving a high performance vehicle and they're driving it
slowly.
a station wagon.
Ooh,
Oh, I get annoyed.
burns me up.
Oh, you would hate me just because I mean I drive like an old person. I mean it's like just how persnickety I am because you would describe me probably as an anal person. Well, on the road, that's me. I'll go maybe 5 miles above the speed limit, but I'm not going to be tearing up the highway because I'm not trying to die. So
As
Are
I'm
long
you
as
never
you
going
Stay
stay
out
in
the
your
but
left
are you
lane.
I,
driving a Porsche
Stay
though?
out the left lane,
to.
Hurricane.
It doesn't matter what car I'm driving. I am not driving
who
fast.
said
Okay,
that, Johnny's? See, that's the thing. I don't know. It's this clip by this girl. I
Look,
don't know if
leave
y'all
me,
know
leave me
her.
in my left, leave me
Her
in my
name
left
is
lane. Just
her name is Don't Call Me White Girl. She said she has this thing, and she said, "Please just stay your ass out the left lane. That's the place
I
for niggas
saw
like
it.
me,
Yeah.
road warriors, highway killers. Like I eat niggas on the road. Like I don't even play. As long as you get in your proper place, cause me on that left, I'm beasting. That's the Autobahn over there. That's for skilled drivers, niggas who don't give a fuck about getting pulled over. They either they shit is right or they shit is all the way left, and they going take it. Like I'm serious. That's what
It's
that
like
them
in
two left
Texas
lane.
though. In Texas though, it gets crazy because they have
Oh,
them left
Dante.
entrances on the highway.
They be going slow in the left lane. I be like, what are y'all
You're
doing?
trying to get on the interstate and you're going like in the left lane, but then the people have to come on because it's the entrance to the highway. I'm like, what
Yo,
is happening?
I'm
Yeah,
a
that is
driver. Like I had
crazy.
a manual up until you kind of just couldn't no more. Yeah, I'm the nigga that's doing all the maneuvers that you're like, who is that? Bro? I'm that guy.
Jess, do you use cruise control at all?
If I'm on a road trip, I'll use it, but it's gonna be at a high speed, like no less than like 80.
oh my God. See, people like you scare me on the road because
80
I'm
is
trying
like
to
the low end for me. My
I'm
my
trying to
cruising
obey
speed
the
is like 90
laws.
something, 100.
Oh my God.
Don't you
Mm-mm.
obey the law?
I
I got, and
do.
then I live in Atlanta. Like nobody drives. Like you will die. It's actually more dangerous driving the speed limit. Don't nobody drive that. The cruising speed is like 80, 85. Especially on the north end where I live. Come out here doing 55. You're gonna get ran right the fuck over. They will trash you.
Sadly, that's correct. I mean, I went to school in Atlanta and there weren't all those people, and it was so nice to drive on the highways. And when I was down there for my homecoming, child, I mean, I'm one of those slow drivers, and I do stay out of the left lane. But there's so many lanes. Like, I mean, people, I definitely had to speed up just to
You
kind
a slow driver?
yeah, like I'm not super fast. Like my brother is super fast, and he annoys me at all time. Like If I why did like if I have to be scared in the passenger seat with you, you driving too fast. You know, and I don't even think I'm super slow. I drive the speed limit, but people like you be like,
Dr. Goddess, just accept the fact that you and I that we are slow drivers. Don't be trying to argue that you're not super slow, okay? I mean,
well,
just admit that you're a slow driver. It's okay.
that's true, but
Slow
I mean,
driver, you can attend Slow
Oh,
Drivers
listen,
Anonymous with
walk
me.
into it,
yes,
Dr.
yes,
Goddess. Walk
but
into it.
Yeah,
but
like
Claim it,
don't
girl.
be
Claim
okay,
it.
but
mm-mm.
wait a minute, but wait a minute, but let me clarify it, and let me get some clarity from you all. Are you all considering driving the speed limit a slow driver?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Uh,
Hmm.
okay,
What
fine.
is the speed limit, Dr. Goddess? You don't even pay attention to that. You supposed to get
I
on
mean,
there
I
and
mean,
you see what everybody else doing and do that.
well,
The speed limit is just a
No.
suggestion. It's
Yeah, it's a
just a suggestion.
suggestion.
No, it is not. Hello. If
And I
you
do
have
diet.
listen, if you have State Farm, they have like this drive safe, and I think it's some others that actually have it. And you get
I have
like,
it.
yeah, you get your insurance reduced because of it.
That's a
You
hustle, though.
abide by
But you can
what's the
turn it
hustle?
off.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a
No,
hustle.
that's the hustle. Like I studied it in business class. That's them doing risk mitigation to determine
Mhm.
who they can raise the rent on. So you could drive. I had that in my car at one time for Progressive, and they want you to almost completely go to a stop to make a red turn. I mean, to make a right turn, and it would beep like if I was moving faster than they thought. And it's not like I was reckless driving because I knew I had that thing in my car, and I never got in an accident, never got any speeding tickets. When it was time for my rate to go up, it went up significantly, and it
Mhm.
was it was only because they had that thing in the car. So I never put that thing in the car or
Don't.
turn the app on anymore because
I
they tell you that it's to reduce your insurance rate if you're a safe driver, but that's bull.
Yeah, I have that, but I never turn it on. Well, I turn it on when I'm driving like in the city or whatever. And then I'll tell it I'm getting in the car with somebody else or I'm in an Uber or so, something like that, so it doesn't calculate the driving because I'm not driving. But yeah,
And you know what else they
But
factor in? So I had it right to try to lower my shit, and they went going, and I was conscious. I was driving, so when I was getting my like reassessment, it went up, and I was like, now. You got to explain to me how it went up because I definitely paid attention. Like I had it sitting, I would have it like in like the app on when I was driving just so it could sit, and it was rating my skill level like at like the highest you can get was a 10. I was on the lowest I ever got was like an 8.5. So it was all, but she was like, you do too much driving at night. That's considered a high risk factor.
that's how.
And she was like, so that was the assessment. So she was like, while they assessed your driving is very good, you go out you when you leave the house after I think it's like 12 or 1 a.m.
Actually, it's 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Well
not
it's
not not just being in the streets all the time.
yeah,
See, that's what that is. Hmm.
but it was because I was getting off work at like 9 something, and then I would be doing, my little running errands or whatever. It wouldn't be no like, and I'm just a night owl, period. So if I have something to do, like I always wait till like real late to do it. I always do that. So
Yeah.
she was like, that's a high risk factor. And my shit went up like $500.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, yeah, like so too much driving at night. Is that code? Is that low key code for sundown town?
Yeah, I don't know what I was like, too much driving at night. I was like, are you serious? She was like, yeah. She was
Yeah,
like,
they
that's it.
do it for the late night driving because they say like if that's the time, I guess they calculated like that's when accidents happen. I don't know, but
So let me tell a quick story about Just for anybody who missed it. Just confessed to us in a recent room that he partied so much that he missed the entirety of Hurricane Katrina.
But this was after what Dr. got
wow,
it.
He said
y'all,
he was at his mother's house and news came on later on, and he's like, "Mommy, what's that?"
Yo,
And she's like, "You talking about Hurricane Katrina?" And he didn't even know it happened, y'all.
yeah, I found out in November.
Wow, it's amazing. I mean, I was still in Maine when that mass shooting happened, and my mom had to call me because I was driving. And she was like, "Hey, you should watch the news. There's a shooting going on." I was like, "What?" So,
But it was like months after. Like I found out in like the winter time.
No,
Did you
you
have a
really
TV?
you had to be, yeah, you had to have been partying really hard
Did you have a
just
TV?
because.
Yeah, I had a TV. I wasn't turning it on.
Mm.
When I tell you that was 2005, right? Wasn't that
Mm-mm.
2000?
2004, I thought.
No, Katrina was
Oh no, yeah,
2005.
yeah,
Mm.
2005.
I,
Bush.
Huh. Let me.
I know it
Yeah,
was 2005 because I remember the gas price that summer. It had went up like crazy high, and it was like I mean, like higher than it is now. It was like $5 a gallon
I'm tired of
here,
this screen shit.
and
Oh,
and
my bad.
the what else went on? But yeah, I had partied. I mean, yeah, I didn't know what was going on.
How old were you? How old were you in '05?
22.
Okay, that's understandable. That's understandable. No, I'm serious. I get it. 22 years old, you're getting your life. You're gay. You're getting it
I
in.
was
It's
getting my life.
yes,
When
yes,
I said,
yes. I get it.
and I
That makes
didn't,
sense. I could see it.
I don't know. I don't know how I missed it.
Oh, thank you for giving just that grace.
Well, because I know what it's like to be a 22-year-old gay
Mm-hmm.
male. I know for me, I was in Houston, and I was scheduled to leave Houston the last week of August, but I changed my flight because they gave warnings about Hurricane Katrina a few days before it actually hit. And I was like, oh, I'm not about to be caught in Texas when this shit hits because who knows how far it's gonna get. So I left the day before things got really bad. hmm Yeah, I changed my flight.
Didn't know nothing about it. I remember seeing people like kept like, showing up, and I was like, it's a lot of people like that talk different here, but whatever.
Where were you when Hurricane Katrina hit, Just?
Atlanta.
Oh, well, yeah, because they had a huge influx. Huge
Mm.
influx. That was one of the evacuation destinations.
Baby, that was my first year out of college.
Oh my God. You had your
I
degree too. You had a few
was
dollars on you. You
tearing
were free.
up the town. I still think that's probably, yeah, that's gonna be the summer of my life because I don't know a summer that I partied that hard.
Yeah, I'm like serious. It's like you're young, gay. You've hit a milestone because you got your little degree, probably had your little job. You're like, I don't need to
Mhm.
study anymore. Let me do what needs to be done.
I think that was like right before I was about. I think maybe this was like I was gonna start work. Was I working yet? Maybe that was like I was on like a little break before between. I don't know what, but
Mm-hmm.
I ain't have nothing to like. I had some money in my pocket, but I don't know. I can't remember why, but I don't remember working. I don't really remember a lot, but I know I had a good old time.
Just somebody's judging you. They said, "Oh, you can remember gas prices, but not the hurricane."
Yeah, because I was trying to get to the next club.
I
And I
know
was
that.
like, why is a line? And this is when the clubs in Atlanta used to close at like 7 a.m. And I am dead ass serious. Like, and 7 a.m. was kind of like yeah, we would leave and it would be daylight out. And it was not normal for you to just go. You know how you go to the club and spend 2 hours and leave? No, you went and you stayed the whole entire time.
Well,
So you
that's why
get
your insurance went up.
well, no, but this was way before. This happened just like in. I was like 38 when this happened. This was when I was 22. Um, but yeah, we used to go and stay to like we wouldn't get ready to go out like to like 12 or 1, and we would just party. And then you got to remember we didn't. It was no like social media, I don't think, or nothing then. So it wasn't a constant stream of news, like it is now.
I mean, yeah, the internet was there, but the apps, I think in 2005, I don't think the apps were, you just had like websites. You didn't
We
have,
still had flip phones because I remember I had a Samsung from Sprint. That was the summer me and all my friends had the Sprint had came out with this like Samsung, and it had like a walkie-talkie feature, and you could like, oh, it was like a chirp,
Yes, that
like
was
a,
the
Yeah,
only
the
phone that
chirps.
worked during the
yeah. And
hurricane.
then they
Mm-hmm.
merged with Nextel. I think they had
Yep.
did, and it was like, man, we went. Oh yeah, we went to. That was the summer I went to Miami for Memorial Day. Yep, that started the summer. And baby, it just went on.
Yeah,
Started the
during
summer.
Hurricane Katrina, only the people who had those phones could communicate because it had that walkie-talkie feature
And
until they got the comms back up.
What kind of phone?
it
It
was
was
like,
like the Nextel
remember the
yellow.
Nextel chirp?
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but it
All
Wow.
was the Nextel.
the like construction workers used to have them, and then Sprint merged with Nextel. And like Samsung had this phone and it had that feature on it, and it came in like all these colors, like red, blue, and I had the blue one.
I just remember the really bright yellow one.
Yep, they had a yellow one. My homegirl had that one.
Mm, okay, I'll be leaving.
Oh, those were the days. Y'all think that 1990 through 99 or 2000 through 2010 was better? What's the better era?
well, I can tell you just for me, 1993 to 1999
Yep.
were the years because that was when
Uh-oh.
I turned 21 and, you know, started living my life. So my 96, 97, 98, that was like your 2005. Okay. So the only difference between you and I is that I partied sober. So I went out, I did because I never drank. So I did all my shit with only espresso shots. That's how I made it through the night. So
Well, you
people
know
would.
what? I would
Hmm.
drink. But they were always like, cause I can't drink, like for real. Like I could have like 2 drinks, and I would always get like, they'll be like, go get around, and I would bring back shit like amaretto sour or like apple martini. They'll be like, you don't get this pussy drink. I like, so I would be tipsy and shit, but and I would smoke weed and shit, but I wouldn't have. My friends would be fucked up doing all kind of drugs.
So I had the crew that I ran with when I started going out in my 20s. Fortunately for me, was a combo crew. So there were the people who drank alcohol, smoked cigarettes, and smoked weed. And then there were the people who did not drink, did not smoke cigarettes or smoked weed, but were okay being around people who did. And we all hung together because we had shit in common and we just liked each other's company. So there was never pressure for me to drink because I wasn't the only non-drinker. You know what I mean? But my friends who drank, these were folks from the South, brown liquor folks. So they did not like wine. They didn't do wine. They didn't do beer. They did hard liquor. I had a friend who could put away 3 Manhattans in one night. It would
No.
just would just drink three. And he was not a sloppy drunk, when he drank, he got really quiet. He didn't really want people, he didn't like fighting or anything because he's like, look, I'm feeling good right now. Just let me enjoy this. Let me enjoy this. Please don't fuck with me right now. Like, I'm enjoying my Manhattan. But yeah, he used to drink Manhattans. He could put away three in one night. Hmm. And still walk straight and drive back home. He was a really good driver too.
But I do think the '90s, that era, it was probably a better era. The '90s.
For clubbing, it definitely was. For clubbing, it
I
definitely was.
mean, even just all the good stuff. The '90s was just the best to me.
90s was better because I feel like 2000 was like all about the money. Like 90s was still rugged. Like they used to play like Wu-Tang in the club. And
Hmm.
then it just like, you know,
But the
you have
'90s was
more
also
of a
violent,
yes, but everything about 2000s was like more about bling and, you know, like
flashy.
getting
It
money,
was.
popping bottles, that type of thing. So it's just a different vibe. But yeah, that's true.
I remember when, like, just do you remember when you could just drive up and drop someone off in front of the airport, or
Hmm.
pick them up without, you
Or
know,
go to the
Go
like
to the
gate with
or go
gate
them.
to
and
the
meet
gate?
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, those were good times.
Yeah. Do y'all remember? Oh, I'm about to take y'all real way back. Value Jet.
Yes,
Oh, I remember that when
I
it
remember that.
crashed. That was horrible.
So look, my mom, I flew to DC to visit my grandma one time on Value Jet. It was my first time like flying by myself. And that's when you could come in. My mom said the plane flew in crooked. She was like, "I'll never put you on no shit like that again."
Yeah, I
And
can
then,
remember. I never flew. I never flew ValueJet, but I did fly AirTran. But I can remember the first time that I got on AirTran. I was shocked and appalled that they didn't give me the whole can of soda.
mhm.
I was like, you would have thought the entitlement I had, like I was in first class. I was like, wait a minute, we don't get the whole can. I was
I
so
give
upset.
anything for AirTran right now, though. Do y'all remember X-Fair?
But AirTran was Value Jet.
Yeah, if Value Jet had turned into AirTran,
After
but
Value Jet, after they killed all those people, they became
AirTran did.
AirTran.
I would demand the full can, y'all. I would always
I
like,
sure would too.
and they
My mom used to be like, "You can get it. You can ask for it."
My assistant put me on Spirit, and I got on the Spirit and I fell asleep. So when I woke up, I was like, "Oh, I missed the beverage service." So I went and I asked the lady for, can I have can I have some water? And she said, are you taking medication? I was like, medication? I was like, no. I'm like- She said, because we don't do that. I was like, you don't do what? They don't give you water on Spirit.
Mm-mm.
I
They'll
was
give you
like,
the update.
what
spirit
kind of
bargain basement of
oh I said, oh no,
Oh,
never
you know what's
again.
worse
Are they
though?
worse than
Frontier.
Frontier? I was
I was
about to
about to say,
ask.
is it Frontier?
Oh,
Frontier is
see,
the
I've
fucking
been on
Oh,
worst.
they're
Frontier
worse?
and
I hate
is that
Frontier.
Frontier? I mean, no, I think I was on Alaska. Never mind.
So my cousin pays $500 for Frontier every year, and he flies unlimited.
I would do that.
But how long
Yeah.
does it take him to get there? Doesn't he have to do a
Wait,
lot of connections?
wait, what?
So they
Yeah,
have
they
this
do that.
thing that it's like you pay $300 for half the year and you fly unlimited, or like you just have to pay like the taxes or like the minimum on flights. So depending on where he goes, he gets like $10 flights or $15 flights, stuff like that. But you have to pay for the 500, or if you just want to do half a year, you pay like 300, I think.
Why does that?
So do y'all remember X Fair?
Oh
Mm,
no.
So AirTran used to have this thing where if you were between, I think it was 18 and 25,
Oh yeah, I
you
remember.
could, yeah, you could fly for, I believe it was $95, Pretty much anywhere, but it was standby. But you would always get on. I used to love that.
My
Not
favorite was Wow. Anyone fly Wow airline?
listen,
Hell no.
not
Let
here.
me tell you
Wow.
something.
I got a grand deal on Wow. Go ahead, Sin. I'll tell you.
Yep. I got a grand deal too. $250. If every year they did one special flight to Europe, leaving out of a different US city, and it was $250. And the time I happened to be going to Europe, I did a semester in Europe. I got that deal. It was $250 to go to Iceland. And they were like, this airline is out of business now, but they were the nicest people ever.
Yes, it was wonderful. I don't even remember how much my flight was, but I know it wasn't expensive. And yes, you got a free stop in Iceland, um, either on your way to or on your way back from Europe. And it was the best trip I took. I mean, I think the year probably had to be 2016 because it was after my mom died. And I went to Europe in her honor, and I stopped in Iceland afterwards. But my travel group was having an Iceland blackout weekend. So I did a solo trip to Europe, and then on the way back, when we stopped at Iceland, we were all a group, and it was just, I mean, we did the Blue Lagoon. We did the ATV rides on the mountain. We stayed in a cabin, well, a series of cabins, because it was like 60 something people. And we were watching. It wasn't the Northern Lights. It was just some of, maybe, or maybe it was. Maybe it was like we were trying to catch a part of the Northern Lights, whatever. But it was just so much fun. It was one of the best trips I've ever taken, and wow, definitely made it affordable. And you could, like Southwest, you could bring two bags on your flight too. So that's another thing. Now Iceland is expensive as hell, but we did find a black restaurant. It was owned by a Haitian woman. It was just great, y'all.
Oh
So
wow. No,
yeah.
Iceland, I feel like Iceland still made their money off me because I definitely effed up and took $100 taxi cab.
Oh no.
Yep. On like first day in Europe. Cause but then I got so good at Google Maps and I take the bus. I could live off the bus. Like I never need a car. If there's any type of public transportation, like that trip taught me how to use Google Maps. So, but yeah, I learned right away. I'm like, holy crap.
Because I got so good at it. I was planning a group trip to Iceland, but people were afraid to go. Um, but yeah, I was so sad to see that WoW went out of business. I was like, wow, you owe me nothing, and farewell.
Yeah, Blue Lagoon was dope. Everybody, I stayed at a random Airbnb. You know how you could stay at someone's house? So me and my roommate, we oh my God, we had like the best time. It was super fun.
Yeah, and see, we stayed at two different hostels, and we filled the hostels up. So all of our roommates were, people that we knew, people that we were hanging with. I I mean, it
What
was the best trips of my life.
what was the hostel experience like? I just that terrifies me. I don't
Oh,
understand how people could have ever
it's
done that.
it's fabulous, Otis. Now you have to be someone that you can't be persnickety, about your privacy, because it's like, it's so you can choose. You can have all men in a room. You can have all women, or mix. And so in the room that I stayed in, usually I stay with all women in a hostel, but at this one it was mixed, and it was so.
Wait, how old were you when you did this?
Oh, I mean, let me see. Let me see, late 30s.
What?
Yeah,
Hostels are horrible, Otis.
no, they're
Hell
Don't go over
no.
there.
In your late 30s,
yes.
that is
European,
Listen,
like so
insane.
no, no,
Europeans,
no.
yeah,
Hostels.
for Europeans who take a month off or 2 month off and travel, it's so common
Yes,
Yeah,
because
it
yeah.
is. but
they're not
it is
horrible.
definitely,
It depends on the
it's
hostel.
a lifestyle though.
Wait,
And
go ahead, Dr. AG.
yeah, because we do, when we do our students, we let them have hostels, but we don't do hostels. They tried that with me once, and I can't do it because you can get in them and get, some of them have very limited one room, right, where you will be in a room with one or two other people, but mostly they're group rooms, and it's the communal bathrooms. That's the part that I think that's the deal breaker for me, the communal bathrooms. But it's a lifestyle, and it's not for me.
Yeah, okay, so I'll share why it's for me. And also, listen, I've stayed in a hostel. Let me see. I'm trying to think. Where was it? What have I done? I'm going blank. But all of that to say, I've stayed in a hostel recently, like within the last 3 years. So, like, but the thing is, all hostels are not created equal. That's number one. So just understand that. And then also, I learned how to stay in posh hostels. Like, in all fairness, to the idea of hostels, I will pay a little bit more for a posh hostel because I am a little persnickety. So, but I don't mind communal bedrooms. I love meeting people. I love like talking to people, and also like there's quiet hours. So everybody got to go to bed or
Oh
at
yeah, I've never. Mm,
least be quiet. Like, but because also like when you're traveling, like you got to get your rest. So
yeah.
I just don't. No,
Mm-mm.
because
that no, but
ain't no way. I mean, listen, I
wait,
agree with Dr. AG saying it's a lifestyle. It definitely has to be because first of all, there can't be that many interesting strangers in a hostel for me. Like I ain't trying to learn where you're from. I don't really care.
I
I want to
know.
be able to use my own bathroom, okay? I want to be able to play my own music when I'm getting ready. I don't want to see your nasty hairs in the drainage. I don't want to see you around me. I want to have my own place when I'm traveling.
Oh yeah,
That that you
you
know
need
that that way, if I want to entertain, don't ask me questions. I can entertain.
you
I
need
ain't
to.
trying to do a hostel for somebody who's over the age of 25
Oh
makes
Yeah.
zero sense to me.
no,
I
And
don't
no,
get it. Mm-mm.
even the
So
one where
let
we
me
wait,
just
stayed,
wait,
because we
wait.
stayed
Let
in
me
one
wait.
this
Let me
summer
wait.
when I took the students, when we went to Edinburgh, we stayed in one. And the one we had, me and another faculty member, we shared, and we had our own bathroom. So that one, but them people was up all night. They was coming. No, Dr. Goddess, they
No,
don't have no silent time.
yeah, no. That's what I'm saying. See, all hostels are not created equal. So okay, so let me paint a picture, and I'm not trying to force it on you. I'm just painting the kind
Yeah,
of
you ain't gonna force me because
yeah.
I told them hell's bells no.
No, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. I am a little bit persnickety, but unlike Otis, like listen, Otis, if you're not trying to be social, then no, you don't need to be in a hostel at all. A hostel is all about meeting people and like meeting people from all over the world. Like this is a unique experience. So there's that. But then
Dr. Goddess.
no, I'm serious. Like I have met
I'm
some
sorry, Gumbo.
wonderful people, like from
Oh my.
all over the world. Okay, but so I would just say that if you, for somebody like Otis, God, this is just okay. If
You
you,
you mean for somebody like Gad?
oh, yeah, okay, yeah, yes, I'll appeal to Gad sensibilities because Gad it has more lenience and is more patient and open and welcoming. Okay, so for somebody like Gad who would like to one, save a little bit of money. Two, if they wanted to take a trip with their friends, because otherwise I don't see Gad or the other the person formerly known um engaging in hostile behavior at all. But if
Mm,
you were going to go with your friends, see, you can get a room for like you could get two people, but I'm going to exclude that because that's like a hotel. So I'm
Dr. Goddard, if I proposed using a hostel when traveling with my friends, they would ask me whether they should admit me. That's
They
what they
would
would
be
ask
like,
me.
"What the hell is wrong with you?"
Like what? Yeah. Oh, they would want to know if I'm yeah, they would want to admit
My
me.
friend,
They would want
my
to admit
friends would
me.
be like, "Are you on crack? What kind of
oh
crack you have?"
Exactly,
oh my God. Okay.
because what we're gonna do is what normal adults
No,
do. Get an Airbnb. That's how you do that. If you really want to have a communal experience, that's how you do it.
well, yeah, that's true. That's true. And Airbnb. Now, keep in mind that I was traveling in hostels before Airbnb was even created, so you have to keep that in mind. But outside of that, the way, so I guess for other people who are not as persnickety as Gad and Dr. Ag, what I do when I travel to hostels is I choose an all female room. I usually choose a room that only has four people, and I'm one of the four. And female rooms usually have their own bathrooms and sink. So I'm not actually going out into the hallway and using that just general communal bathroom. I do agree, like it does kind of creep me out. Um,
But Dr. Goddess, what about people smelling? Like, like folks' hygiene ain't right, then you gotta smell them?
And
you're,
snoring.
we're we're in the world. Absorb germs when you're outside. I'm sitting
No, I'm not
better.
talking about germs. I'm talking about peace of mind. I do not want to be in a room with somebody who smells unshowered. Okay, I don't want that.
I
And
but
folks,
I've never.
folks have their different body scents. I ain't trying to,
That's true.
And then here's
But
the other thing. You know that there are cultural differences, okay, between
that's true.
between the races. Like we don't be doing stuff the same way. I've had all kinds of roommates, and for the most part, there's some shit that other folks do that we don't do. I can't be having all of that in my space. I
That's
can't be
true.
doing it.
All I can do is just share my experiences. I've never had anybody in my room that like smelled. And I do think that a part of the hostel experience, and maybe also a part of the female only rooms, is that people tend to be more considerate. I mean, that's all I can say because everywhere I have been, people respected the quiet hours. I'd never encountered anybody that I was like appalled, in terms of like their hygiene. It has been an absolute joy to meet other travelers and to even to go into a hostel and you set yourself up and then in Portugal, my roommate was like, would you like to go and see the sunset and get something to eat? I was like, sure. I mean, like, it was like, then this is somebody I met 5 minutes ago and we were roommates. It's
Question.
amazing. Like, your spirit has to be open to something like that in order to have that.
Dr. Goddess, I can tell you politically correct, you ain't gonna get nobody on your hostile train, okay? It's just it's an epic fail. Nobody is
I had
about to
questions.
agree
I
that
have
at the
questions.
age of 35, folks need to be having roommates with freaking
Question.
strangers. Talking
Yeah.
about
Is
do
the
you want to go see
hostel
the sunset?
like a dorm or something? Like
It,
I don't get it. I've never
First lady, you're not gonna get it. Dr. Goddard's gonna tell you shit for the next 30 minutes. You're not gonna get it
no,
because it
no,
don't make
Yeah,
no
look,
damn
first
sense.
lady, it's
look,
like a
It's not
dorm.
gonna happen.
wait,
It
wait.
is
Mm-mm.
So,
like a dormitory. It's like a
yeah,
dormer,
they can,
and they
so,
range in rooms. Like the smallest I've seen is like the one that we stayed in Edinburgh, where there were minimum, like there were two people to a room. That's the smallest I've ever seen. Prior to that, the minimum is like four. You have four in a room. And it's, yeah, it's like living in a dorm. And there's like a communal kitchen, and people cook, and there's yeah, it's like a dorm.
yeah, so yes, and the thing is, so ignore Gad's restriction around age. I have met people of all ages in hostels. People stay in hostels for a variety of different reasons, okay? And like so if you are somebody that you might want to, and also I think that this is more akin to either group travel or solo travel. right? And so I have done a lot of solo traveling, and that's why I was staying in hostels so I could meet different people, and I had to save money because I did a full 3-month trip in Europe, and so I didn't have 3 months European money, you know what I mean? But staying in hostels helped, and also having a Eurail pass where I just took the railroad everywhere. And hostels are also usually conveniently located in the city center. And
Yeah,
so they
but
would,
see, Dr. Goddess,
would
but
you say,
if you had said sorry, finish, and then I'll say something. I was
exactly,
gonna say something funny.
exactly.
Yeah,
I'm
Dr. Goddess, come on now.
plain. I'm just trying. So you can come with your negative retort in a moment, but I'm just saying that the hostels were always very well located, very close to either the train station or the bus station. And I stayed in posh hostels. So I'm gonna drop a link to one of my favorite brands of hostels. Is called Generator. So Generator hostels are in Paris. They're in Portugal. They're in Spain. Um, they even have a Generator hostel in DC. That so like different companies will take over like a large hotel. So that's the other thing. So the idea is to have some type of communal experience. Now, you could be like, well, I don't even want to measure Otis. I mean, I'm a Gad, okay? But if you are someone that you're like, you know what, I don't want any roommates and I want my own bathroom, you can have that in a hostel. You can still meet people in the group rooms. And if you like to cook your own meals or if you just like to have your own snacks, you could, keep them in the refrigerator in the kitchen. So you can definitely have your own room. You can also have a room of 2 people. You can have 4 people. You can have 8 people. And I've seen a couple of
Eight
hostels go,
people in one room?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they can
Yeah.
go up to 10.
I told you you're not gonna understand it.
Yeah,
Dr. Goddess, here's the
it's
other thing.
it's
Like,
okay, Dr. Goddess.
I can't have
People
nobody. I
get it.
listen. The only person who's going to be undressing in front of me in a room is somebody that I have invited. Okay. I don't want to see no stranger taking off their clothes and show me their freaking drawers. I do not want to see any of that shit ever.
People
Nope.
get dressed
Nope.
in the
Nope.
bathroom. They get
Nope.
dressed in the bathroom.
I don't want to smell the drawers
Yeah,
either. I don't want to imagine the
Dr. Goddess,
drawers. I
give it
just don't.
up. Dr.
Mm-mm.
Goddess, give
Nope.
You
up.
just making
Nope.
up stuff. You making up stuff now. But anyway, that is the general concept of a hostel. No, it's not for everybody, but it has definitely been for me. I stay in hotels, I stay in hostels, and I stay in Airbnbs because I'm a very varied traveler. So that's just me. And I respect anybody else that doesn't want to stay in a hostel. But for those who do have an
Oh
adventure
God.
spirit and are more communal minded and are a little bit more
Now you being judgmental, Dr. Goddess.
no, y'all were being judgmental.
No, no,
No, no,
now
no,
you being
no, I no,
judgmental.
no. I'm just matching people's values with
Yeah,
hospital.
okay.
All I'm saying. I'm just saying that you do have to.
See, now, Dr.
Okay,
Goddess, now
Dr.
you talk
Goddess.
about values and
Yeah,
No,
see,
it's
now
Can
you talk
I?
judgmental.
about values.
y'all have
It's
y'all
giving
Okay.
very
have
judgy right now. That's what
Yeah, it
it's giving
is. It
So,
judgment.
no,
is.
y'all
so
have been judgmental. All I'm
Hmm.
saying is if you are
Nobody
somebody.
judge. I simply
No,
said that the
Gad has
hostels.
been that's true, Dr. AG, but Gad has been very judgmental. And all I'm saying is if
He
you are more
Dad just say
flexible,
he don't want to share with people who might smell or he
yeah,
got to see
exactly.
them
And
naked.
I mean that like I have never had that experience in my
Right, but
years.
it wasn't about your
It
experience and
wasn't
stuff. It's
judgment,
the
Dr.
idea
Goddess.
of being in
Yes.
a room with
can I just say
strangers.
something really quick? I just
Yeah,
so oftentimes they're really in some of the best locations. Like I know I've stayed at one before, but I don't really think it's for Americans. Americans don't travel too
that
much.
way.
If they do, they travel max 10 days, if that. Right? No one's going for months at a time like Europeans. Now, Europeans and people in other countries like really travel. When you're traveling for weeks at a time, months at a time, you know, a you don't necessarily want to, stay at a hotel or Airbnb. Hostel is a good option, but it's people in America don't have the luxury to have that type of time off, depending on your job. But I know I've done it when I've had extended periods of time off and I wanted to stay in like in Barcelona, like Las Ramblas, right? It's a very expensive area, and so the hotels are very limited. Um, so it's like you almost need to stay at some sort of uh hostel. And I've stayed at one with a private bathroom, but just because, like, it was my first time staying at one. And I was like, I want to try this out to see if like I'm okay with it first. But it's not for the American traveler. I think it's more so for Europeans who have like 2 to 3 months off a year, and Americans just don't have that time. We want to get into the hotel, we want to, relax, and then we got to go back to work. That's just American culture. We don't really have time to travel, like most of us.
And Sin, that goes to another point that Gad made earlier too about like cultural things, because I used to do this class and and as part of the class, we had an excursion. It's this excursion for the students in the class. And so I had a graduate student who was working with me and she was French. And the first time when we were arranging the living conditions, she got this apartment, this house thing for everybody, but the students would have to share beds because there were like double beds. And I was like, no, you
Hell no.
can't get them to share beds. And she's like, well, what do you mean if we match them? Like, because it was all women. She's like, well, if we match them and they pick their roommates. I'm like, no, that in America, that's not a thing. Like, people don't just share beds with strangers, right? Like, that's not a thing that we do. So there are different cultural habits that go with traveling, how you travel. Because I mean, I've traveled for longer than 2 weeks in a place, and I didn't stay in a hostel. Like I made other arrangements. I so yeah, like I said before, I think it is a lifestyle, and this is a lifestyle that suits some people and it just doesn't suit other people.
Even traveling in general, like a lot of people are frustrated when they go to a country and people don't speak English and things aren't the way they are in America. Like my sister complains all the time. She travels a lot, like, and she travels
Yeah,
once at a
that's
time,
annoying.
and she's been everywhere. And it's like, if shit ain't like it is in America, she starts to have a meltdown. And she's like been like every continent and been everywhere. And she's still like very Americanized when it comes to travel. She wants the hotel to be a certain temperature. Everything has to be like very Americanized. It's not like that in the
Yeah.
rest of the world.
I hide
She
from
sounds
those
like a
people
very
when I'm traveling. I hide from them.
yeah. She sounds like a very entitled American who needs to get over herself
Yeah,
and
I
understand
can't.
that the world does not revolve around uncivilized Americans who are so uncivilized that they voted for Trump. Okay? Americans are not respected outside this country, which is why if you can get dual citizenship, do so. Because when you're on a plane and the terrorists come for y'all asses and try to take over the plane, you put away your American passport and show them your foreign passport so you can live to see another day. Because trust me, that's what I do. When I'm on an airplane, I'm Nigerian all the way, okay? I'm not American. I'm Nigerian, okay?
So I was asked in the chat, and I just wanted to add some more details about hostels. The other great thing about hostels is, again, the communal experience. They offer walking tours, van tours. They do bar hops. Bar hops are not for me. You know, I never go, but I'm glad that they're offered. Um,
Wait a second, Dr. Goddess. Why would an adult need a hostel tour guide to go bar hopping? Why?
Dr.
You have your
Goddess,
phone.
it's
they
it,
don't like
You just
people.
go to
Yeah.
bars.
it,
You're
it's
assuming they like people. They don't. Like,
I know. Like
yeah,
I'm just like,
just,
and see,
yeah.
that's why I started matching up values because if you have to be a people person, you
Uh,
you have to be
mm,
That's
communal.
why I said, Dr.
No, I'm just saying if you are a more social person, if you're communal, if you are okay meeting strangers, then hostels are for you. If you're not, it's okay. Like I don't.
can I see? Y'all don't y'all are coming for our characters. So I'm gonna come for y'all. Y'all say we don't like people. I'm just gonna say that y'all are thirsty. That's what it is. Y'all are
What
thirsty.
is that? What do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Thirsty?
Talking about we don't like people. We like people. We're just not thirsty.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're thirsty, Dr. Goddess. I
I
think,
thank you. I mean,
yeah.
I have had some of the best experiences in my life. I mean, I have gone to the beach with people that I just met that morning. I have gone on tours with people. You get to know them when you're driving, when you're walking. You know, it's just, and it's a lot of it is just one to one interactions. But then you
Not
meet.
Dr. Goddess
But you
going on
don't have to stay in a
all these
hostel.
dates with her
I
I can see,
hostel
understand.
but I can
mates.
see
You
that for
don't have to
I,
Dr.
stay in
Goddess.
a
She's
I
a
hostel to
very,
do
understand.
that, though.
but Dr. Goddess is very worldly.
Yeah,
I can
she's
see that.
outgoing. You're like a
It
Yeah,
ain't got
I
nothing.
see
It
that
ain't
for
got
you.
nothing to do. It ain't got nothing to do with
Nothing
being
to do
No,
with
worldly.
I
Some
being
of
just
us,
this
worldly.
so,
fits like it fits her. Like I could
just
see her
some of us,
enjoying
Period.
that. I
Yeah.
wouldn't
just
necessarily
some
enjoy
of
it,
us
but
have lived.
I'm a grump.
Some some of us have lived on multiple continents for many years on end. Okay, this ain't got nothing to do with being worldly. Okay, I'm
It,
probably the worldliest person on this stage.
you are
Okay,
not
I
worldly
am
like
because I got
that.
the
You are
receipts.
not that. Well,
Child, please.
no,
You can
you are
By
have
the
well.
middle
Hold
time
on,
I
hold on.
by
grade.
the time
Wait.
by the
I will
time
tell
I was
you. Wait,
16,
you're
I had
well
lived on three
traveled.
different continents,
Wait, yeah,
ma'am.
I know.
No, this is not
Wait, wait.
traveling. I'm talking
No,
about living in
listen,
different countries.
listen. You are well traveled, but you are not worldly because
Oh
you
my
like
God.
other
Okay,
people. You
can I
don't
That's
respond? Can I
like.
crazy.
respond?
Okay,
May I
this
just
is
please?
crazy. This is getting
No,
out
let me
of
just
hand. This is getting
hold
out
on.
of hand.
Okay, let me fix
This
this
is
real
really
quickly.
getting out of hand.
Just give me 2 minutes.
Oh,
Number one,
y'all funny.
no, just give me one, ma'am, Dr. Goddess. I was born in Los Angeles, California, to two Nigerian immigrants. Okay, by the time I turned 6, I had traveled back and forth to Nigeria with my parents 4 times. Okay. I was too young to remember anything. Okay. When I was 6, we moved to Nigeria, where I lived for 9 years. And when I was in Nigeria, I traveled with my dad when he went to medical conferences to Europe repeatedly. Okay. I lived in that foreign country for 9 years. And then I moved to Saudi Arabia, where I lived for another year, an entire year. I wasn't traveling, I was living. And then I came back to this country when I was 16. Okay. So by the time I was 16, I lived on three different continents in three different countries. I've been exposed to different cultures, different languages, not for a season, okay, but for extended periods of time. And since then, I have traveled on my own. I speak more than one language. I can speak in at least three languages conversationally. If you're gonna tell me I'm not worldly, you're gonna have to find another person. Cause trust me, I'm worldlier than every other motherfucker on the stage. I am. I'm looking right now. Yes,
Okay, so
I am.
I want to contextualize your experience because what I hear is that you have had privilege.
Wait, maybe
Wait,
Mel
wait,
is
wait,
worldly
one
like me,
second.
cause
Wait,
Mel's probably lived in another country too. But y'all travelers who ain't
wait,
lived
wait.
nowhere, y'all can't tell us that we're not worldly when y'all have just lived in America.
What?
That's
Well,
what
you
I'm
don't.
Okay.
saying.
Well,
That
sweetie,
whole
I've lived
worldly thing is
also
crazy.
in 6 other countries. Sweetie, don't do
Oh,
me. Do your hair.
oh. Okay. So, and see what I heard. Gad.
But you didn't make the claim, just
Yeah,
Just,
Dr. Goddess
I'm just
did.
kidding. I only lived in New York and Atlanta, but you
I
gotta
know. I
watch
knew
what
you
you
were
say.
lying.
You gotta watch what you say, baby girl. You gotta watch what you say.
New
but
York
what?
is a
Just
soft
Kunta.
country, so
Okay, just Kunta.
But what? But what I heard from Gad is that everywhere he has traveled, from his medical conferences with his father to places like Saudi Arabia, y'all know he lived posh and like a king, okay? And that is why he cannot share with anybody. That's why he don't want to bar hop with nobody. That's why he can't, stand and be in a room with nobody because he has always had these privileged positions as he traveled. That is what I
he
heard.
ain't have more money than
may
Luigi.
may may I
Wait, he ain't
correct
have more
Dr.
money than Luigi because Luigi really had money. And look
May
at
I
him,
correct
staying in
may I
hostels.
World,
let
real
me correct
worldly,
Dr. Goddess
a
again. Let me
real
correct
worldly
Dr.
gay.
Goddess again. Let me correct Dr. Goddess again. Dr. Goddess, you fail to
It's not
Remember.
necessary.
Okay.
Come on.
No, let's just give her context because
Let's
people
give
need
her.
to learn this. Dr. Goddess, most Nigerians come from a village, okay, at some point. You go back generations and 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 parents or grandparents came from a village, okay? And in Nigeria, it is customary for people to return to the village repeatedly during the year. So when I lived in Nigeria, my daddy took us to the village at least twice a month on the weekends because we had a house there and it was only an hour and 15 minutes away from the city where we lived. And when you go to the village, what do you see? You see poverty. You meet extended relatives who ain't got shit. You have to use outhouses for bathrooms sometimes if you're visiting a relative that ain't really got nothing, and you're not gonna be like, oh my god, I can't stay with you because you ain't got nothing. No, you make do because when you go to the village, it's time to spend time with your family members. And if they're living simply, you live simply too. My parents are very humble people. So they weren't going to be like, oh my God, we can't stay with y'all because y'all ain't got all the stuff that we need. No, my parents would be like, look, we're staying with this uncle tonight. They ain't really got what we got, but it's fine. We're going to show you how to use the outhouse. You take your little lantern, you take your little toilet roll, that's what we call tissue paper, and let one of us know you got to use the bathroom. So we'll go with you, and do all of that. I mean, that's the shit we did. So let me tell you, Dr. Goddess, when it comes to living without the niceties of life, I know it. I can live without electricity. Okay, because I can make a fire. I can use an iron that I put coals in. Okay, I know how to go to a well and draw water and take a cold shower out of a bucket with a bar of soap and a towel that I use to clean my body. Trust me, I know how to do all that shit because my parents made sure that I was exposed to that shit. Okay, so when you say that I need the niceties, no, I prefer the niceties, but I know how to make do with the simple shit. Okay.
Okay, Gad. I appreciate the clarification. I was messing with you, but obviously we can only go so far because you do have those real experiences. But for the record, and to bring Mel and anybody else, who just came in the room up to speed,
Please,
we're debating the pros and
please,
cons.
we're done with the hostels,
We're
Dr. Goddess.
not. We're just
We
no.
moving
We're
on.
yeah. We're just talking about. I mean, this is a fun conversation. We're just talking
It's
about.
over though.
Uh, okay, Dr. AG, but I'll just, but Mel asked, so that's why she asked in the chat. So I'm
No,
just,
I just wanted to know what statement was made prior to, you know.
yeah, we were debating the efficacies or not of staying in hostels. I love them, and Dr. AG and Gad absolutely refuse. So
I
now,
don't I
Mel,
don't
Dr.
dislike
Goddess
them.
wanted to Dr.
I
Goddess
Gad,
wanted to
visit
tell
their
Gad,
people that
lifestyle.
folks
Gad has
Dr.
never,
Goddess wanted to say that
wait,
people who
Gad
don't who
has,
don't have who can speak.
Gad,
Okay,
Gad, wait
go ahead.
Gad has never had any experience with any hostels. At
That's
least,
a lie.
at least Dr. AG has, and she has traveled with students and she doesn't like it. And I do respect that. But Gad has taken things way too far. And he has expressed that he doesn't want to be social. He don't know why people do walking tours, why they do bar hops,
What is
bike
going
tours,
on?
all this other stuff. And
What is going on?
I love all of those things. So that's what we're debating at the moment.
Dr. Godchild,
I
now
keep
Dr. Goddess
forgetting
about to bring Hurricane
We
back.
on Clubhouse. We on
Dr.
Clubhouse.
Goddess about to bring Hurricane back because Dr. Goddess done lied. Dr. Goddess. Number one, you assumed I've never stayed in a hostel. What I said regarding hostels was specific, okay? And as clear as day, I said, I don't understand why anybody under the age of 35 or under the age of 30, over the age of 35 or over the age of 30 wants to stay in hostels. That's what I said. You assumed I've never stayed in a hostel. You're wrong. I have.
Oh,
But I
okay.
was young. I was young. I
Okay.
was young and I didn't have shit. When I lived in Nigeria, I sometimes traveled with friends and we stayed in hostel. We stayed in hostel like places. I know all about the damn hostel. That's
Oh,
why I don't want to do it as an adult.
all right.
That's why I don't want to do it as an adult. And I definitely don't want to spend a week or two in a hostel with a bunch of unshowered Europeans. No, we're not doing that. I don't want to be with no French people with their nasty smelling asses, unshowered, unmoisturized in a freaking hostel. Do not want to do it. I don't
Uh,
want to smell nothing. I don't want to see nothing I don't want to see. And like I said, the only person who is going to be undressing in front of me in a room is somebody that I am that is staying with me that I invited. I ain't gonna have no stranger undressing because I don't want to see shit if I don't want to see it, if you know what I mean. All right.
all right. Well, I'm putting in the chat a link to one of the larger brands of posh hostels because, as I said, I stay in posh hostels. They are, yes, hostels do. Some of them have beds where they're just all single, and others have dorm like beds. But there are posh hostels, and other than I don't know, other than the dorm setup, I don't see them being like you would travel when you're in your 20s, like a college, some type of cheap dorm or whatever. It's not that. So that's all. It's just if you like to travel and meet people, and especially if you are doing solo travel in particular, hostels can be great for you. Otherwise, it's fine. And again, you do not have to share a room in a hostel. You can have a lot of people who like to have their own room and own bathroom, but also have a communal experience. They choose to stay in a private room in a hostel, and then you could still go on the tours, the bar hopping, the bicycle tours. That's all. I'm not doing no ad Saint. I'm just being attacked
I'm
up
that's
here.
what I'm like. Is this an
Uh,
advertisement? Are
in
they
a way,
paying you, Dr.
in a
Goddess,
way,
for
because
these?
I don't. Yep, yes, because I don't want anybody I want anybody
People
to
got
listen.
that though.
You
People
know that
got
no,
it.
not necessarily, because the way that Gad went on, and he has never stayed in a modern posh hostel, and
But
I don't
but
want
now
people.
you're making the assumption again that he never stayed.
No,
Just
no, 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 no,
just
no,
advertise
no, no,
for the
no. Now I
hostel.
know, no, no, no. Now I
Advertise for
know
the
he, no,
hostel.
no. I
Say you
know
love
he has
it
never
and let
stayed.
that go.
No, listen,
Oh my.
because based on the questions that he asked, that's why I assumed he had never ever been in a hostel. But I know he's never stayed in a modern posh hostel. So, no, that much I know for sure. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
And everybody can make their own decision. That's
That's
it.
a reason. That's a reasonable inference because Dr. Goddess, to me, ain't nothing modern about hostel at my age. Okay, at my age, I
See,
can't do no
there you
freaking
go.
hostel.
See,
Okay,
and he
because it
don't
ain't
understand.
modern.
And he
Okay,
don't understand. Hostels have game rooms,
Oh my
living
God.
rooms. No, Dr. AG, why can't I just express what they have? He
Be-
doesn't know what he's
because
talking
Dr.
about.
Goddess, you've been talking about the hostel.
But he doesn't know what he's talking about. So I'm adding some details. What
He
is wrong
does.
with
He
that?
stayed at hostels.
No,
So
he
that's
said
all.
he's never stayed at he's never
Dr. Goddess,
He
he's
what
did
talking
I'm
say
about
he stayed at
Dr.
right. No,
Goddess,
he
what I'm explaining to you, Dr. Goddess, is
Y'all carrying on, ain't you?
I don't care if the hostel was operated by the Four Seasons. I'm not doing hostel
exactly.
because
Exactly.
they
Exactly.
have far too
That's what
many
I'm saying. And
people.
that
But I don't want it.
okay, and I'm saying I accept that. And what I'm sharing is there may be other people who want it, and they should have the details, especially because hostels are not popular in America. That's all. That's all. And I just don't want you to poo poo even the idea of a hostel because hostels are different.
Dr. Goddess Angelique in the room chat says that posh hostel link hasn't updated its certificate on the web and is open to attackers.
Yeah, okay. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. What I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to tell you, Dr. Goddess, just let it go.
Look,
yeah,
the
I
no,
main
mean,
I'm
thing,
Dr.
the
Goddess,
main
no, no,
point,
Dakota in
no.
the room chat
Okay,
says growing up,
last
grandma house was the
one last
hostel.
thing. The reason why. The
Oh my gosh. So I
let
would
it
No,
say
go.
my
if people's
grandma.
1 second, if people's children, like anyone here that have children that are going to go to college, I would say that staying in a hostel for a semester, it's a really good experience. It's, obviously safety is a concern, right? Because you're overseas and stuff like that. But a lot of these hostels are safe. And so I would encourage to let your child um check out a hostel when they're spending a semester abroad because it's a good opportunity. Because once you start working and you're in the real world, it's very hard to take that much time off. So a child in a well, I said college.
You know, I gave the wrong link. Sorry. Sorry. Let me update the link. That's true. That's not
So
correct.
I stayed in a hostel in college and I did a semester in Spain. So that's how I stayed in a hostel and I stayed for several months and it was a good, experience. I bounced around in Europe to different hostels and I didn't have a problem and oftentimes I did pay extra for a private bathroom because it was like my first time in Europe and I didn't feel 100% comfortable sharing a bathroom. So it just depends on your comfort level.
Exactly. Exactly. But and I just don't first of all, and maybe I feel like I'm looking out for my fellow Americans, right? Because Americans generally think that travel has to be expensive and that they like that, it's hard to travel, et cetera, et cetera. I am someone that vehemently advocates for international travel. So it's true. Like a lot of people have not had the experiences that Gad has had.
That link is no better.
Oh no. Okay, let me just look it up myself
Well, I
once.
would say
Yeah,
people
Miss
here,
Dr.
sorry, go.
Goddess, it has to have the HTTPS for it to be a secure link. Those are
Okay.
just HTTP. That's
Okay.
all.
Most people in America don't have the opportunity to travel, take a month off, right? Who has not many people have. And so you get a week and you want your private space. We have a lot going on. And so it's understandable. I don't really think it's for Americans. I really think it's for Europeans. Like my cousin lives in Europe and she takes 2 or 3 months to go hiking and stuff like that. So she stays in hostels and so it's just, I don't know, it's like culturally, they just travel a lot more. We just work a lot more in America. Just it's just different here. We can't really take that much time off.
Yeah, that's what I admire about the countries in Europe. When I worked for a European country, the headquarters was based in Germany, and they would pretty much be gone most of the summer, and then they would spend at least a month here visiting us at our corporate office on their vacation, but they would be here for like the whole month of August. Like we can't do that here.
Oh, they changed their oh, okay. They changed their website. So that's why I was getting it wrong. 1 second, I'll drop it in the link just so that you can see. And there is a hostel in DC. And I just don't want anybody to
They have a few in New York too.
yeah. So
How
this is
you? It's what
this
is? Do y'all know about the YMCA in Harlem on? I think it's on the same street as the big church. What is it? Abyssinian. There's
yeah,
a. Isn't that a hostel on top of the Y
yes.
there?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's also one in Brooklyn on 666 Jamaica Avenue, which is East New York, Brooklyn. They also have a hostel on top of that YMCA.
And
And remember, that's where Luigi stood at. So I think he went in there because he was hiding out and shit, and it was not gonna be, you
mm-hmm,
know,
He was with me the entire time.
you
He
know.
didn't leave my side.
If the hostel was ghetto, they would have you robbed his pairs of shoes, his book
exactly.
bag.
If it's good enough for Louis, it's good enough for you.
uh,
Yeah, who the hell is staying at a hostel named 666? Jesus Christ.
Dr. God is staying at it.
Listen, I do have standards. I didn't say I stay in any hostel. So just as
666.
as a reminder. But listen, I have had the time of my life staying in some of these hostels and traveling around the world. I would not trade it for a second. Okay. I ain't thinking about anything that Gad says. And I do consider what Dr. AG said. I do.
I think it's just
Not Dr. God
you're
is
the social.
discriminating against Gad.
Yeah, you're a social butterfly. Like I can, you remind me a lot of some of the people in my family that could spark a conversation with a total stranger in like less than a minute.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, it takes the right type of personality to stay in places like that, and I just don't have that skill. Or yeah, I need to warm up to people,
Hmm.
but I can tell that that's not a barrier for you. So I
That,
can see how it works.
Dr.
but
Goddess, I am a true introvert. So I
exactly.
can't, yeah, so I have to let people into my world. They can't just come in because if they just try to enter, they're all getting dismissed. Like you're not about to
Now
invade
we did all that
in large
arguing for you to
numbers.
say that just
Say
what
that
she was
again?
trying to. Now
Okay.
we did all that tussling for you to say just what she was trying to say in the beginning.
No,
Okay.
and well, there's more to it because there's more to it because some of us are not thirsty like that. Just leave me alone. Go on mute.
she
Anyway,
she said it's not for introverts. I wouldn't do it. I do think it's an afford like if you don't really have a lot of money and you young or something. I stayed in one before now to both points. It actually wasn't that bad. Not something that I want to do again because I'm a true introvert. But nobody bothered me. Everybody was really nice. It was a whole bunch of nobody was American. And but to your point, Otis, they was thinking. So, hey,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
cool.
like Dr. Goddess wants to act like we did. Dr. Goddess wants to act like we didn't go to college and have dormitories where we didn't have to deal with other people living. Like I know that if you cannot control who you're around, you're gonna smell shit. You're just going to.
Well,
They're going to smell, okay?
I also said that I
Especially if
stayed.
you have noses, if you have nostrils that are super sensitive, oh, it's gonna be rank.
Well, I also said I stay in female only rooms. So with all
Oh,
due
that's
respect,
even worse.
it is not worse. It is
I'm
not.
a man. It's gonna be worse. We
It is
can't do it.
not worse. I can guarantee you that. Okay. Yeah, y'all made me reminisce. I'm just thinking about my experiences, smiling. But to Janice's point, um, I think the other great thing about hostels, because I did encounter people who were introverts and people who needed to like warm up, and I think it's important to give those people space. And interestingly enough, like they do warm up. They're not going to be somebody that just jump in a conversation within a minute of meeting someone or anything like that. But what I've found is like being in the room, you have the introverts who some people they don't say anything, and also you have to keep in mind that people are on different travel schedules. So some people would come in and they would just want to go to bed because they had had a rough night, the day before, and you never know what people have been through. So you let them have their space and do their thing, and they may say something to you the next day like that. That's what I love about it. And then there were times where I didn't want to talk. I mean, I'm not the constant social butterfly. So I'd be like, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. I ain't talking to y'all, and it was great. And you just pull your curtain, okay, and you got your
Dr. Goddess is like shit. I need to get on Clubhouse, y'all.
I mean that there is a part of that we're all on this social audio app because we want to be social.
I told you about that girl who said she met up with Whack 100 and he got on Clubhouse and after he got out of the shower and he was laying there naked arguing, kicking his feet up in the air.
Oh
No,
my god.
You ain't hear about that?
no,
Get
No.
No, I didn't hear
Oh,
about it.
oh,
No.
it's a deeper story. I gotta tell you about it. I'm not gonna bore the room, but yo, it's funny as
You
shit.
are not born in the room. Please tell. Please share.
So this girl, she said she met up with Whack 100, right? She said that, and I hope he ain't in here and like hunting me down because I know he be on here. But anywho, she said that he was like that he wanted her to stick his fingers up her butt, up his butt, and she said, I'm sorry,
I heard this story before.
yo. And then she was like, she said she was like, ew, like, ain't it gonna be like shit on there? And he was like, no, that's why I'm gonna get in the shower first. And then he was like, but when you do it, I want you to take your finger and do like the come here motion, like come over here when you do it. Yo.
I'm
And then
dying.
she said she did it. I guess they did, whatever. She said he got in the shower after, and when she took her shower and got out, she came out. She said she heard like a whole bunch of loud talking, and she said she walked out. He was laying on the bed naked, like on his stomach, kicking his feet up in the air, and he arguing with niggas on Clubhouse.
That prostate was satisfied, okay?
He said, "Ooh, let me get on here and read with the girls. I done got my."
I mean, uh, like that is so strange to ask. I mean, it's
wait,
strange,
what's
right?
strange about it, Dr.
No, no,
Goddess? I
no, no,
mean,
no,
To
no,
prostate
no,
ask,
stimulation
no,
is
no, no. To ask
real.
oh, to ask a woman that you don't really know to do that for you, like for you know what I mean. That's the what?
It's not strange, Dr. Goddess. It's strange to you because
Okay,
your mind thinks about things a certain way, and that's fine, but it's not strange to want pleasure. Um, you know, he just happens to understand that
but
prostate
we're talking
gland
about
stimulation.
and
Hmm?
but hold on, Gad. We are talking about whack 100,
He's a
okay?
man with a prostate gland,
Ye-
yes.
And he is also a deeply homophobic man, right? Like you got to keep this in mind.
right?
Which makes even more sense, Dr. Goddess,
Okay,
But
yes.
that's why she's saying it's weird, cause like,
It's
what do
not weird.
you?
Yeah, I mean, is
No, it
it weird to
is.
you, Just? Were you
I think it.
surprised?
oh my
I I
brother,
think it's weird. No, I'm not surprised, but I do think it's weird coming from him. Like, nigga, what?
exactly, brother Messi. Welcome back.
Not you.
Please take the stage, brother
Oh,
Messi, and regulate Gad. He has been off the chain today.
He eating chicken tenders.
Well,
by
first of all,
by the
Dr. Goddess,
way,
Dr. Goddess, you're wrong to think that Messi is gonna mess with his chicken tenders.
by
Yeah,
the
I
way,
did
He's not gonna do it.
have a
there is some tweets going or some screenshots going around that Papoose also likes anal play. I don't know if
Okay,
that's true
so
or not.
Was that
so
true
let's
that
let's
Remy said that? Was that a real tweet that she made? I didn't know if that was real.
I don't know if it was real either.
Mhm. So
She
we need
said,
we need to we need to normalize requests for prostate
But
gland stimulation, okay?
well, it's
that
not,
either
doesn't
We
either one,
sound
isn't
but
it?
that's
attractive.
not.
No,
I don't
isn't
That
think
it?
sounds
that's the
like a
point here.
procedure.
But still, like to break up with somebody and then to come out and tell the public if that was her tweet that your man like his booty played with, like I mean, you are
You did
that's a
it,
you
bitch.
did it. I mean,
So
you are a woman. That's a straight act between a man and his woman. And
Yeah.
explore all of your partner's body.
A lot of men like that. You're welcome, straight man. So y'all don't have to beat around the bush. A lot of
That's
straight,
why I said
so
normalize. That's why I said
because they don't be
normalize it.
wanting to tell y'all.
no, we shouldn't normalize it because straight men aren't as clean. Like I feel like gay men have a routine. They know their bodies more, they're in tune. I'm not doing that with a
Not
straight
they
man.
not as
They're
clean.
they're not. They don't have like gay men know, like, they said that gay men don't have sex after Thanksgiving, right? Because it's not like the freshest time. You know, not straight men,
So
They barely know how to wipe their ass.
so here's the
Yeah,
thing.
some of them think
Yeah.
wiping
But
their ass
let,
is
let me
gay.
just let me make the point I'm trying to make so it's not missed. If you normalized prostate gland stimulation, then there wouldn't be that negative stigma attached to cleaning the booty hole. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. Normalize the whole thing. So that way you will have more straight men with clean booty holes. That's what I'm saying. The reason a lot of them don't clean their asses is that they've been socialized to think that touching it makes them gay or that touching it is a gay thing. Neither is true. So y'all women need to reinforce what we're trying to tell you. Men can't do it alone. They've already shown you that they need you to survive and they need you to thrive. So help them get comfortable with cleaning their booty holes. That way you'll have better straight men.
I'm sorry. I can't we're gonna have to rebrand it because if a man asks me to participate in prostate gland stimulation, I'm looking at him sideways. We're gonna have to rebrand it because that's not appealing to me. That sounds like a medical procedure.
Listen, I think, and let me, notorious, any act sexually between a man and a woman is a straight act. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't know why y'all think that just because it has to do with the butt, it automatically makes it gay. If a woman is doing it, it's a straight act. Maybe freaky, but it's still straight. Oh, notorious. I know that sex boring as hell.
And you know he's done after he done got his.
Yeah, yeah, her.
And that's just it.
How is it not? Like how if you do anything with a woman, like how is it? I don't understand how that makes anything gay. To be gay, it has to be with a person of the same sex. Y'all don't understand how this works. This is why sex ed is should not. You can't take that shit out of schools because you got grown men who still don't understand how sexuality goes.
I mean, I do find pegging to be absolutely hilarious, but that's just me.
Is it just hilarious that you find it to be or something else?
Um,
Oh.
it's because it's like I'm just thinking about like the culture, how sex is interpreted, what Justice said, and it's just, I mean, I just think it's funny, like if they, huh?
Being bent over, or like being on all fours, like the whole picturing it. I
I
guess.
mean, yeah, it's because I mean, because I'm a straight woman, right? And so, I've grown up, hearing straight men. Now admittedly, it has gotten way more ridiculous as of late, where you have men who don't even literally want to wash their ass, which is appalling. Like, on what planet did washing your ass become gay? Like, this is we've just the straights are not well. That's all.
This is definitely not the space I started speaking in a minute ago. Has the conversation changed? I need
Yeah.
to
No,
know
that
if we're
Yeah,
talking about
do
gay
you have
or
Yeah.
ears?
talking
Yeah.
about
Right.
Like
yeah, no, it has
what?
changed. So
Wait,
Dr.
Dr.
Goddess,
Goddess, what are you talking about? People don't wash. What?
You listen to that. I was
This
saying
is
that.
crazy.
a lot
Yeah,
a lot of
you've heard
men
it before, right, Dr. Ag? That, like, you've never heard a straight man be like, nah, 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 I don't even wash down there. That's gay.
Absolutely not.
Girl, listen on the internet and even on Clubhouse, you will hear
Oh
straight
my
men
God.
say it. They'll be like, nah, nah, nah. And it's just like,
Girl,
what?
the
Like, we didn't
filth.
grow up like that way. We did not grow up that way.
Okay,
And
well,
so,
Disgusting.
hold on. Okay, so
so I
Dr.
was just
Goddess,
saying straights are not well. That's what I was
so
saying.
Dr. Goddess, let's be clear about what's happening. Okay, it's probably the case that some straight men are not cleaning properly down there. That's what it is, and that's what we're talking about. I mean, I know that some of us engage in hyperbole, and that's fine. But it's probably the case that they're just not cleaning properly. That's what the problem is. And when I hear a straight woman say, "Oh, pegging is hilarious," it makes me wonder, maybe that's not the best way to think about it. Because again,
Well, to be fair, I think it's funny too.
no,
But
well, yeah, why is
but
it? No,
y'all
Thank
let
are
me
y'all
you,
talking about
let
like
me make my
plenty?
thank
point.
you.
PC Gad is a new person, so don't make Hurricane come back. Okay, if you say that pegging is funny, you're not helping make. You're not creating an
Niggas.
environment where people can actually talk about it and decide if it's something that they want to do. The idea that sex between a man and a woman necessarily involves a man dominating her, subjugating her, turning her into this little thing that he can throw around and abuse however he wants to, is not the only way that sex between a man and a woman can happen. And y'all need to let that shit go. It's cute, but you don't need to be married to it. You don't need to be married to it.
But
I
I
think
think
that's one of
there's
the
a
reasons
way
you find it funny.
you can
Because
have.
because pegging upsets that dynamic, that power, that uneven power dynamic that a lot of straight people think sex between a straight man and a straight woman requires.
Just be like seahorses.
I don't think so. I think that you can think like you can have a sense of humor about sex. I don't think that is like you can have a sense of humor about a lot of stuff, but just because you think, I think pegging is funny too. I mean, but if you want to do it, more power to you. I'm not out here like you niggas that peg is crazy. Like, no, it's just funny. Like a lot of stuff is funny. Some, sexual acts that I've done, I've laughed at, and that I've seen on TV. Like, it's funny, not in a like, ha ha, I'm laughing at you because you peg. It's just like that shit's funny because I have a sense of humor. So sometimes it's not always a laugh mm, like
Well, just I
ill.
was
Yes,
responding to
and
what wasn't said.
well, well,
That's what I'm
well, but
responding
but
to.
No, but I don't. Well, I don't know, but
let's
I don't think
let's
that's what she was
be
saying.
reminded. Let's be reminded of
Be
how
a
this.
straight woman, just.
One second. Let's be reminded of how this conversation began. Just was telling us about one of the most virulent, hyper masculine, and homophobic so-called straight men on this app, and what he was doing with a woman that he did not really know. Okay. And the context of it all is funny as hell because of who it is. And that moved into a slightly, different conversation. But that's how it started. And the reason why it is funny is because you've got straight men. And that's why Dr. AG came in the middle of this because I was saying that even though I'm straight, I never heard the foolishness that so many straight men talk about today, where they're saying they don't even like to wash because, quote unquote, that's gay. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And so, yes, I mean, it just lent itself to something that I found humorous. But that's the general context. So if you don't know whack, and you don't know why the story that just
I
told,
am so
so
sorry.
Can I
like
add
that's the
something?
context.
I think I think hmm, it's like, so these niggas, they are homophobic and they don't want to wash their ass because they think it's gay and all of this and all of that. But like on the other side, on the flip side, when they do something, even if it's behind closed doors or whatever, and you be like, well, aren't you the same one? Well, that's kind of funny. That's kind of gay. Like you even say like this so-called straight person. So it's like we're doing it all around. They're doing it to themselves. We do it to them. I kind of don't like when we be like, man, you so homophobic that must mean you gay, because we want to say everything is gay and put it on us. Like stop ascribing them niggas to us. Like they're just terrible people. But I'm just saying, like, so it's just like, what's gay, what's not. When do we say it's gay? When do we say it's questionable? When do we raise our eyebrow? Like that's just what I'm thinking about. Ed, we are well rounded. We are well rounded people.
I'm
Can
waiting
we
for
can, can
Brother
we go
Ness.
back to the vaccines, please, please?
I'm waiting for Brother
No,
Ness
I
to
mean when the conversation veers back that way, TC, God damn, are you okay?
It's all the pegging that's going on in this conversation. I'm gonna just leave that to the subject matter experts. Jeff, Hurricane, y'all carry on.
Well, we're
We
actually talking about straight
were
men.
actually talking
We're
about
See,
talking
straight
about straight
man,
men, right?
and I
see,
know,
So,
always.
thank
and
you.
I know
See,
your wife sticks her hand up your pussy. So do you have
People
right, like,
always gotta,
oh
they
yeah.
always gotta show themselves. Just sit
yeah,
on
like
mute like
what? What do
And,
you
everybody
and, and,
else.
mean?
and by definition, pegging is for straight men because gay men don't need to buy anything to do it.
Do you like your salad toss?
Of course he does. But anyway, and you should stop assuming that all gay men get,
Or bottoms, right?
get
Because yeah,
rear-ended. Like, just stop that. It's always
Or
about
that
butt
even
sex with you
all that
guys.
or that even all gay men
like
are
anal
into
Have
sex.
anal
sex.
sex.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
See,
some
exactly.
they
gay
don't
men
they
who are
don't
just
they
not
don't know
into
about
it.
side. They don't know
Yeah,
about
they don't know that.
sides. They don't know about none of that. So
Well,
yeah.
TC definitely doesn't because he does missionary position, and his wife cries. His wife cries at the
In the community, you have oral
end.
you have
So,
oral only people. You have sides. You have I just want to jack off, bros. Like that. All of that.
he knows about it.
Wait, Ron, so the I just wanna jack off only guy, is there a term for that? What's that
Bait
called?
bait
J-O
bait
only?
baiter bros.
Okay, well, yeah, okay. I get that baiting is a thing, but are so you're saying that they're like bait only people?
There are bait only people, especially those who are married,
Uh,
especially those who are married and don't want to fully engage, but they want the intimacy.
I mean, I'm open-minded and I'll try my
Married to
best,
women. I mean,
but bait only,
I
mm-mm.
mean,
That's
Don't
yeah,
come at
crazy.
me with that bait only
but
shit.
Not
that
me
that's a
learning
it's a
stuff.
but it's a whole thing. Like I've literally like I can point you to a group that I can show you. I'll show you on the side, but
Well, but yeah, okay, but so the bait only guys are guys who are married to women. They want
no,
to
no, no,
enjoy some stuff.
not all the time. It's people who just don't enjoy the the full engagement. They just want to kind of yeah, like fried bait. Like Saint just said, there's certain
I
people who
Kevin, I
and they're
get it,
good with that.
frauding, but so you're gonna fraud and you're not even going to at least enjoy oral? Uh,
You're sounding intolerant.
Yeah,
uh,
come on, Gad. That doesn't sound like you.
Gad is judgmental.
This is, I mean, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Not Gad
Yeah.
all of a sudden yucking someone else's yum.
no, no,
This is,
Wow.
no.
Not
wow.
you're not
I'm
even gonna eat cake? Oh my god.
listen.
Listen,
If you're doing that as a single person, that's
are
fine. But if
you,
I'm in a relationship with you and you're gonna tell me that you don't even want to,
Oh well, yeah.
you know,
That's why you don't get
well,
into
that's for
That's why
you.
That's why
Gad, are you
you don't
you
becoming
get
just
into
meet up with
intolerant?
those
relationship.
people.
Yeah.
Did you rebrand and become intolerant all of a sudden? This is not like you.
No, he was intolerant before.
Well, that's true. That is
I don't
true. Fair enough.
listen.
Fair enough.
Messy, Gad has been good since Gad arrived. Okay, Gad has not cussed anybody out.
Mm,
Ooh,
Gad is still
he
messy.
said I beg to differ.
Oh my god, just
Not
ran
Marissa.
TC off. So if y'all ever wanna just
Let's
Gad
get
has
start talking
TC
about
out of here,
pegging. Yeah.
talk
Let's
about
talk
But
about
that was the
pegging.
long. Like, let's be clear. If you find this conversation uncomfortable, you don't stay for 30 minutes. Protest about it twice, and then finally
And
leave
then
10 minutes
still stay.
later.
Yeah.
he must have
He
come. He probably came. He was like that.
You're right. Or he was
I'm out of here.
he was googling the shit we was talking about or on X looking for it.
Not begging.
Right.
Honey.
So, Brother Messi, Gad has not been good in this room. He has been very naughty and contentious and persnickety. So, I was very happy to see you arrive. Please gather him, get him together.
Brother
Well,
Messi, just so you know,
Very
before he
bougie.
tried to gather me, talk to Dr. AG, because Dr. AG would tell the truth. Dr. God is out here being messy again. Gad has been good, okay? Gad has been good.
not
Gad
you
just doesn't
pitting
want to live in a
the good
hostel with a
doctors
bunch of
against each
strange
other.
Europeans who don't shower. That's what it is.
This is listen. Gad is messy, and I know that because the only reason why he pursued this conversation is because he wanted to make the heteros, he wanted to make us uncomfortable. Some of
It
us
was
are
that the
uncomfortable, others
goal?
aren't.
Was that the goal?
That was the goal. That was the goal. You could hear it in his voice when he was asking Doctor Goddess questions. But not you putting the good black women doctors against each other. Gad, what is going on?
Exactly. Exactly.
What is happening? This is this is not like
No,
Hurricane would never do that.
I think Gad's line of questioning, the couple questions he did ask, were appropriate for
Thrusting his opinion
why do you think
upon.
Thrusting.
why do you think
Not
it was funny?
thrusting.
Why do you think it was hilarious at the time and all of that? I thought it was, we
Oh
just
no,
had
we
to.
weren't
Yeah.
talking about that,
Oh,
Ron.
okay, yeah,
Yeah, no, you. I don't. Wait, were you here for the hostile conversation?
yeah. No, I was listening. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ron, Dr. Goddess is trying to get us to stay in hostels. That's what it is. And
He was
she's
like,
mad.
y'all ghetto,
She's
y'all
mad that we
ghetto.
Wait,
said
not
no.
hostels.
What I heard from that conversation was y'all are broke and y'all
I
have to stay in
wouldn't.
hostels.
I
You
too
ghetto
have.
niggers.
I too have
That's what I
stayed in
got from
hostels
it. How
before.
about you, Dr. Goddess? That's
Not
what
recommended,
I got.
especially for
Dr.
Americans.
Goddess was the one advocating for the hostels.
No, but he
Yeah,
was
Hold
saying
not
on,
recommended.
that Gad
but
was like trying to shit on people that stayed in
Yeah,
house. That's
well, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it
okay.
was
Gad
giving
would
y'all.
definitely
It
do
was
that.
giving y'all probably stink too. That's what I
yes,
heard.
yes.
That's definitely Gad's personal beliefs, but
I
we're not
did
going to
not
get
get
into
that
that.
at all.
You did. That's what
Thank
I
you,
No.
Dr.
heard.
AG.
I
Thank
was
you,
getting in the
Dr.
car, so
AG.
maybe I didn't hear it clearly. But
Yeah, I didn't get that.
I heard poor broke ghetto poverty.
Damn. So the
No.
Navy is up one touchdown over the Army.
Oh, and hopefully
I know
someone
y'all
hits.
care. I know y'all care.
So hopefully, ain't that the one Neely is at?
The killer, yeah.
Oh yeah, no. No, his name's Petty, huh?
Oh,
Neely is the
I
one
knew what
he
he was talking
killed.
about. I knew who he was talking
Oh
Jordan
about.
yeah.
Neely is the one he killed.
Well, hopefully lightning strikes or something.
Hey,
I don't know. I just like all that. I I don't know. Fuck that. Hopefully, you get back what you gave. Ugly self. Just ugly. I said, this is one
they
ugly white
always be
boy.
they always be ugly.
Ugly. I said, that's why you mad up here killing people because you look like that.
So I think now that we've uncovered conversations that'll run TC from the room, perhaps we should create a list and add
Yeah,
code words so that when he comes in the room, we could just yell out a code
just
word and
switch
switch the
to it.
topic.
Now we just got to figure out a word from infinity.
So for TC is gonna
Wouldn't
be
it be the same? Wouldn't it be the same?
No, I mean, he loves talking about. Now, infinity is really a person that I think has like some type of obsession with gay. It's always
he goes straight to that.
like for him to know. The thing is, when he started talking about prep, to know about prep,
Yeah, yeah.
you're a little. Yeah, that's you're a little informed.
Well, that's too much.
Yeah, like I mean,
And
just
then to
saying.
say it like, is that a bad thing to somebody?
Yeah, like it's
No.
doing preventative. Like what, girl? Like
No.
y'all are
that's like ha
into
ha ha. You wear condoms. Like
exactly.
what?
And he's like 10 years old. So
So I think
You know, that's what a 10-year-old would say.
in order to throw TC off, we'll say instead of saying P State, we'll say State P, like prostate P State State P. Yeah,
just say
code word.
pegging and he'll skate. He
Just say
skated.
it out.
Can we please go back to the politics, please? Jesus Christ.
So we'll
He
make the
was
P
so
word
upset.
pegging. That's
Or
the
pegged.
safe word.
No, you really pegged that point.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
And then when he comes in the room, oh hey Peggy.
That's funny.
Peggy, Peggy, Peggy. I like that. Let's do Peggy,
Yes, Peggy.
Aunt
Peggy is the key
Peggy.
word. Peggy is the key word. We'll just start doing it.
C-
Instead of like, I really
CC,
want to peg
aka
that
Aunt
point.
Peggy
Peggy.
in the building.
Hey,
Like
could
like
you just
like
peg
Peggy,
that for me? I want to come back to
like
that.
Peggy
We'll
Bundy,
peg that for later.
like Peggy Bundy.
Cute little peglet.
What's good, Shorty Doo Wops? How's it going? How's it hanging?
Where you been?
She sound
Oh,
like she out and about going 45 miles an hour in a
On
60.
a on.
Not
A,
45.
She
I
sounds
was
like she
about
was
to
in
say this.
1996 talking about Shorty Doo Wop.
Okay.
Not
What is this
45.
poetic justice?
Okay.
I
Brother, did you
Out
go to
there,
Costco today?
she out there holding up traffic.
child,
I
you
did
ain't
not.
never
I did
lied.
not.
Trying
A
to get on Clubhouse.
BMW. Wait a minute, Josh. That's ignorant. A BMW just literally passed me. I swear to you. He's not playing. Like he sped up
Are
and
you on the
everything.
highway?
I'm like, I'm doing the speed limit, sir. What's going on?
Well, that's
That's
the
my
problem.
mother.
That's the
My mother
problem. What
comes
do
to
you
a
mean?
complete stop to dial the number. I'll be like, homegirl, you can't do that.
Well, actually, I'm going 5 miles above because this says 35.
Ooh, living on the wild
I
side.
know that's
Yes,
right.
honey. I'm about to
Not
slow it down.
wrong.
I'm about to slow it down.
But hold on. But okay. But first lady, what lane are you in?
Oh, it's in a neighborhood. I'm in a like a
Oh,
residence.
okay. Okay.
Okay, so you
Well,
just,
because in Chicago here, they got the nerve to be posting like 45 on Lakeshore and 55 on the highway, like anybody ever goes in the speed limit. It's like that's just a setup. That's just a
Once I
setup.
hit
Let me
65,
ask y'all,
I get nervous.
what's the most
Anything over 65 is nervous to me.
what's the most
You
egregious
said
limit?
65?
Yeah,
You
Hmm.
start getting nervous?
yeah,
That's the limit. That's the speed limit.
right. So
That
when I
means you
go,
can
like
go
if I do
85.
70, I'm looking all around.
No.
I'm telling you, I can do it. Like I got the balls to do it. Like if I have to, I can do it. However, while I'm doing it, I'm checking all four corners for the officers. I'm looking
Yeah,
above.
well,
That's what I mean, like paranoid, like that. You know
oh
what I mean?
well. If they gonna get you, they gonna get you. You can't. They gonna detect you before you could detect them usually. But you ain't got nothing to worry about because five miles over the speed limit, they are not checking for you.
At
Yeah,
all.
Not
five to
checking for you.
seven,
At
you're
all.
good.
You are fine.
It's 5 to 7, you're good. It's when you get over 10. It's,
So
you
the
know.
question,
I'm actually
wait.
surprised.
What's the most egregious over the limit y'all have gone or gotten a ticket for?
Oh, I
Like,
want Just to answer this first.
what's the
Oh, he's on
worst
the
you've
phone.
done?
Not I want just to answer first. He on
Well,
the
I
phone.
already know and just the type that probably don't even get tickets and probably go 30
He
over the
probably
limit.
doesn't even know what the speed limit is in any given week. Um, so I think the most I've ever gone, because I don't like to speed. So I think the most that I've ever gone is when I was younger. It was probably maybe 30 miles over, whatever the speed limit is. I think the most I've ever gone is 90. I think yeah, that's the fastest I've ever gone is 90. And that was when I was still in high school and I was coming from it was the last day of finals my oh god, was it senior year? I think it was senior year. And the Lakers were playing the Spurs um, in the I think it was the Western Conference Finals, or it was in the finals. It was in the playoffs, and it was the same game that I'm sorry, nobody cares. I think the most is 30. I went too far. Sorry.
30 over the speed limit? That's pretty fast.
Yeah, it was one time. It was one time. Yeah, I was about to give y'all a whole bunch of story that nobody
But
asked
what
for.
was the speed limit?
Um, it probably was um because I think at that time it was 70 on the highway, so I went
Oh,
90, so
where
that
in
was 20.
Texas?
Yeah, it was in Texas. It was somewhere in
Mm.
Texas. But now,
So
yeah, no. Since I moved here, I don't do that.
yeah, because
Maybe
it
maybe the
makes a
next season.
difference. It makes a
Yeah,
difference where you are. Because if you're 55 and you're going 35, that's not, bad, bad.
yeah, yeah. No, it was in Texas, but now, um, those same highways are now like 70 or 80 miles. I mean, it's something ridiculous. Like they've
You're
moved up the speed limit.
75.
Yeah, yeah, it's wild. It wasn't like that. Like I-35 wasn't that fast when I was growing up, but now it's much faster. In Texas, I mean, in Chicago land area, most of the areas are like 55. And so maybe the most I've gone is about 75. I'm always sort of cautious because I ain't trying to have no Chicagoland area police pull me over. So I'm always mindful of that. I'm just not trying to have that experience. Um, I'm not trying to give them an extra reason to pull me over. Let me say it like that.
Yeah, I'm coming. I had to park my car. Okay. So y'all ready for mine? No? No?
Yeah.
I've never got one. Now I got pulled over for it, and he said I was doing 7 miles. It was in the neighborhood, and I said, "Sir, you see this Mercedes Benz? I think it was like it was a 2001 I had at the time. It was an older Mercedes Benz, and I'm like, I can't even get up the hill and do all that extra. So what are we doing?" So he didn't give me a ticket for that, but he gave me a ticket because my daughter wasn't inside of her car seat.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because he could. I know he was lying about my speed. Like I know that wasn't going that fast. I just came over the hill. No. Anyway, so yeah, I got it for that. But other than that, the only other ticket that I got was something crazy, and I went to court. I really tried to fight it, and that judge told me, "Ma'am, um, that is not going to work." But anyway, it was for the school bus. The school bus was sitting on the side, chilling, and then all of a sudden it opens up the arms. It hadn't been driving. It was standing still with the flashlights on, you know. And then all of a sudden it opens up the arm. By the time I see the arm come out, I'm already past it. I got a ticket for that, and I didn't appreciate it.
Man,
Yeah, they
this
be
one
getting you
time I
on
was
that
taking
stuff.
my little sister to I was dropping her off at her dorm. We, she we from Jersey, but she went to school in St. Louis. So I'm in Missouri, and we just like going places, driving around, and they speed limit was 75, and I was used to a 65 speed limit, which I already was going to do 85 anyway. So when like everybody was just zooming, I'm like these people, I'm like this is a raceway. So I get up to like 110. Yep. And that's the most egregious I've ever did. And that ticket is still on my record. That ticket is still on my record. I couldn't even say nothing or fight it, but it was memorable. That was like in 2011.
Where's Just? Just come back. We need to
He's
know.
on the phone.
All right, so Dark, what's the have you ever got a speeding ticket?
I know dark goes fast.
I've gotten a speeding ticket once.
Okay, once? How many miles over?
20 miles over, I think. I was going 20, 25. I remember um, they actually, it would have been reckless endangerment, but I was white, so they knocked it down to just speeding.
You know what?
I was gonna ask if you talked yourself out of it.
He never lied.
Not
Oh no!
I mean, he
Oh
didn't
no!
though.
I didn't have to talk myself out of it. He said, "This is reckless endangerment, but I'll put you down for speeding." I'm like, "Great, thank you."
This is that. I mean, I wish I could have had that recorded, but yeah, we already
Oh,
know.
oh God. So 20 miles over. What was the speed limit?
Oh well, no, I got clocked at. I got well, so 25 miles over. Well, no, no. Well, okay. So now I'm thinking about 25 miles over is reckless endangerment. I was probably going almost 100 when I should have been going like 70 max. I think one of those
Was the
Southern
speed
Okay.
limit
California improvements.
70?
70 something, 75, something like that. I was going
So
nearly
that's a,
100. I
I
remember.
think that's a high speed limit because I come from a place where 65 is the highest, and so when you go to those country ass open road, like in the Northeast, it's a little more congested. It's more people, so it's a lower speed limit. But when you have open road in places like Missouri or Texas or whatever, you can kind of go as fast as you want. So when I saw 75, I was like, what? I went crazy.
Yeah.
In Montana, they have no speed limit.
Crazy. Yeah, exactly.
You just drive,
Oh,
and I mean, God help you if you get in a wreck, because I mean, who knows when the
God is gonna
next
be the only
car is
one that
coming?
exactly.
Montana,
And
that's where they filmed Yellowstone.
I'm sorry.
Is that where they film Yellowstone, Montana?
Oh, it
they
probably
don't
is.
they don't film Fast and Furious out there.
Probably is.
The Autobahn like that too. In Junction
It's
East.
beautiful. Montana's beautiful, but ooh, okay.
Now, Patty, you can't tell on yourself, but let's present let's we're not talking about you, but how fast has a friend of yours ever
The
gone before?
Audubon, yeah.
Oh, I don't play that. I'm too scary. I don't play that at all. I've
He's
had
like,
a friend try to speed, and I'd be like, you gonna let me out this car? I don't do all that. I can't.
you said I take enough risk. I ain't doing.
And then even if I get a speeding ticket, I got one ticket, and I had to like go tell our J2 and do a whole memorandum and shit. Like I can't get nothing.
Now I have a speeding demon friend, and
Yeah,
you
yeah, wink
know,
wink friend.
oh no, no, it trust me, it ain't
No, I'm
me.
only playing.
Um, she has. I tell her, I said, you think this is a jet? Like I've gotten so frustrated with her. So I got my new car, and she was like, well, let me drive it. So we were at the mall. We come. I said, all right, yeah, you can drive. Ciao. This girl started doing the same stuff. When I tell you, oh, it was about to be an accident just from the whole argument. She gonna cross like 3 lanes. Oh, I need to be over there. What the fuck do you mean you need to be over there? No, we are going past it. We're gonna go to the next one and turn around. No, I can do it. I can do it. Oh my god! When I tell you, I pissed myself, not literally, but my whole heart was in my drawers. Seriously, it was just really crazy. I don't know how many
Yeah.
speeding tickets she's gotten. What I can tell you is those little neighborhood cameras. One day, um, we were in an area where like every 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 corner seems like it's got a flashlight on it. And she's riding through and I'm like, slow down, girl, you need to slow down. Just, oh, it's okay. It's okay. And then here come another, like, she was like, oh my God, I'm going to sue them. I'm having an epilepsy episode because of the. I cried my eyes out. She was absolutely, and she really said she was going to fight it. Now I don't know if she fought it, but I think she probably racked up about three that night. That's crazy.
3 speeding tickets in one night.
Yeah, not speeding tickets. Those, well, it's a speeding ticket, but it's like a flashlight speeding ticket. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, the
It's not
camera.
like a
That's big in
ticket for.
DC, and I don't pay
Yeah,
none of them.
yeah. Oh, if
So
you
your
don't
friend,
speed,
They
they will
have them
take
where
your
I live, and I
taxes.
don't pay
No,
them.
so in like when I live in Maryland, but when I go into DC, I just have to park in the garage so that I don't get booted because I'm not. DC is ridiculous. First of all of their tickets are at least 100, and then they double after 30 days, and you're gonna get like three in one night, like you said about your friend. That's very easy to do. And then once they figured out how much money they could make, they started getting really greedy and just putting them everywhere. I know I owe like DC at least $3,000 in tickets. I'm not paying that.
Nah.
And yeah, no, I'm absolutely not. No, and it's
Are they
not like an
city
actual.
cameras? Is it
Yeah,
They're city
yeah.
camera. Yeah, it doesn't go on your credit.
Should you
The
even
only
be
because
driving
where I
in
live,
yes,
the
you should
DC?
be
camera
driving. Yeah, like for
where
No,
I
I mean
live,
me.
the
like
cameras aren't regulated by the city, so you don't have to pay
Yeah, I
them.
should be driving. I'm not paying that.
All you
no, no,
gotta
no, no.
do is
I
slow
don't mean like
down.
driving ever. I mean like should you even be driving in DC? Like what if
Yeah,
they
Oh
nah.
well,
I try not
you
to
running
drive
those
if I don't have
plates?
to. Yeah, I don't
no.
have
So
to
if they
drive.
put
Ooh.
because they don't know who was behind the wheel. I could say like, oh, that wasn't me. It's my car, but like
Well,
That's
they
not how
don't
that
take
yeah.
it
works.
in the front and the back.
It
No.
doesn't matter. It's your
No, what I'm
car. It's
saying is,
regulated.
Pause. Dr.
You
AG,
are paying for
pause.
I'm s- I'm
no,
sorry.
when you
Period.
say I shouldn't be
Let's
driving,
let's
that
What
was
peg
a
are you
good
let's
so
hold
pause,
on.
man.
Let's peg that comment
let's walk
for
this
a
out.
second, Dr.
Are
what
you
AG.
saying like if I
happened?
get pulled over?
Hold on for a second. What happened? I was
You said
asking because he said they don't know if it's him driving, and usually the cameras they take
Yeah,
it in the
it's
front
tied to
and
the
the back.
car.
yeah,
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no.
the car. I'm
But
talking
hold
about
on,
the
me
Dr.
as a
but the
AG.
person.
You
No,
camera.
you're
said
I'm talking
missing
about me as a
Peggy.
person.
Listen,
Anybody could drive
Rod,
your
just a
car.
They'll
second.
mess with your registration though.
No, they don't, because they usually have a camera. So when you go through, the camera gets you in the front, and when your car goes through, it gets another one. It usually has a
Yeah.
front picture and a back picture.
And it goes with the registration of your car.
Yeah, and they
So what is
usually
that?
send it to the
Yeah,
address.
yeah.
That's why I
They
was
don't care about
asking
your
you.
face.
That's
Hold
not
on
what
for a
I. Yeah,
second.
that's not
Hold
what I
on
was
for a
saying.
second. Hold on for a second. That's why I was asking you if they were city run cameras, because a lot of cities they allow these camera companies to put up the cameras, but the city doesn't enforce the tickets from the cameras. That's why I asked if these were city run cameras, because that makes a difference,
Okay,
and
I
whether or
got
not
that.
they contact, whether or not they put the
Wait,
sheriff on
how
you
does
or
it
whatever.
how
I
does the
think
city not enforce
I think
those
the angle I'm
tickets?
coming from
There's no
is
other option,
when
but the city
someone
doesn't
No,
enforce
there
those
says
tickets.
isn't. Okay, so it's too many. Oh,
You
okay,
can't get
I
you
got a
can't
quick
sorry.
question. In DC, do they if your car gets towed and you don't claim it after X amount of days, like 30 days, is it become the city property like it does in a lot
yeah,
of
it
Hold on,
goes
cities?
up.
hold on,
Yeah, it
Moose.
goes
Can
up for
we
auction.
just do the tickets real quick and
Oh yeah,
resolve the
sorry, my
thing
bad.
with the
Sure.
tickets? Oh, okay. So somebody was asking something about the city not enforcing the tickets. What was that?
So, in order for them to get the information, they have to get it from authority having jurisdiction, which is usually a DMV, Secretary of State, or something like that. So, they're not able to get that information unless they have the authorization from the municipality to get that information to send the ticket to your
Right.
house.
Right. But what happens where I live, what happens is they can do that, but if I don't pay the ticket, I don't incur any
I got you.
consequence. They
I
can
understand
put
what
it
you're
on
saying.
my credit or whatever.
I
I
understand.
go to the DMV to renew my driver's license. That doesn't matter. They're not like it doesn't hold any real enforcement because the city isn't doing the enforcement.
I understand what
Yeah,
you mean.
I
Well,
think
in
so.
Maryland, that goes by your registration. And in January,
the speeding tickets, the speeding cameras that are in safety zones, they're gonna go up like $100.
Yeah.
So
Or Norway, that
What I will say,
actually, hang on one second.
nah,
They will
hang on
actually
one
will
second.
charge your ticket depending on the amount of money you earn.
What I will say is, as a
Stop making
Maryland,
stuff
Wait,
up.
what?
Stop making stuff up. That don't
That's
even sound
crazy.
real.
D-
yeah,
Let
that's
let
crazy.
Ron talk. I'm gonna go do some quick research and I'll be right back. Promise you.
That's insane.
Yeah. As a Maryland driver with a Maryland license, if I ever get a ticket in Maryland, I'm paying that shit because I don't want it to affect my registration. In another quote unquote state, I'm talking about DC, where they have these stupid ass cameras and they try to get people. I'm gonna rack up as many tickets as I want, and it is what it is. I just I just better not get impounded. I
but
I
here's the
just
thing. Here's
but
this.
look, no. But real quick, let me finish. And when someone says, "Should you even be driving in DC?" I can drive in DC because I don't know who that person was that got the tickets on that camera. You're flashing license plates.
That
It
won't
wasn't
work.
me.
That won't
Well,
work.
here's the
What you
thing.
mean?
Be careful about federal property. Yeah, DC is not a state, but it's federal land, which affects all 50 states. So you do some shit in DC, it's federal.
I drive
So
in
it doesn't
DC.
matter that you live in a
I
different
have a
year.
valid license, and I will park in a private garage.
So this actually came up. This actually came up on my property. So I have a license plate camera on my property, and a person pulled into my property and dumped a whole bunch of like boulders and shit. Like they were breaking up concrete or whatever. Dumping is a huge thing in my area. So they dumped it on my property. But because I have a license plate camera, I was able to get the guy's license plate, make, model, and color of the vehicle. Turned it over to my authority having jurisdiction, which is the township police. They pulled the registration, pulled the VIN, contacted the gentleman. He said his car was stolen. He said, I don't know what happened. My car was stolen, what have you. They went back and checked the records, checked to see if he reported the vehicle for stolen. He did not report the vehicle stolen. They checked the registration. The registration was most recently updated, and it was up to date. So what they did was they issued him the citation, even though he claimed that the vehicle was stolen. They still issued him the citation because he didn't
Now
report
listen,
the vehicle was stolen.
if they
And
go through all of that to do that to me, and that's fine. If they
well,
really
three
really
thousand
box me in
dollars
a
is
corner,
that's like a level